All right, and we are live once more. Welcome everyone to the True Mouse Games channel and to another D&D adventure. This one is called The Dread Forest, and it will be a 6th level adventure, and we have 4 brave heroes daring to face whatever is waiting for them in the forest. And some of the heroes are a bit unusual. We have a Arakocra tonight, amongst other things, and we'll see how this turns out. All right, so without further ado, we'll jump straight into the adventure. So the adventure starts in Greenspire Province, close to the old Tarysh Woods. For many generations, the villagers of the province have used the great Tarysh Woods as a source of game, timber, and wondrous fruits. Their herds grazed on the plains surrounding the forest, and cool spring water coming from its depths was said to have healing properties. Now, everything has changed. The Tarysh Woods have become a twisted, evil place. Thorny bushes have sprung up from the ground, blocking all pathways. Hungry creatures stalk the perpetual twilight under the canopy of sickened trees. The water from streams and springs has taken on a black hue, burning the tongue of all who dare taste it. And an evil mist comes seeping out onto the plains, making sheep, cattle, and even guards disappear. The villagers are desperate, seeing their peaceful world shattered by some evil influence. Can our heroes help them, or will they disappear in the depths of the Tarysh Woods forever? Let us find out. So, we start this adventure on a bright spring morning, actually more like spring around late morning, just before noon, and the call has been sent out by Baron Ninbin of Fenspire being the largest settlement in the whole province, still basically just a small town of maybe 400 or 500 people, nothing major. But the Baron has a small, simply built wooden palace there, a small fortress basically, and the call has been sent out for all those adventurers who dare brave the forest and hopefully find out what happened to the elves that were once living in that forest and what that evil is threatening the surrounding countryside. And a certain date has been set, and the call has been told, all interested parties have been told to be at the Baron's fortress around noon. And now it is approaching noon, and 4 quite exotic, or some of them anyway, people have gathered in the antechamber to the Baron's hall, watched by 2 nervous-looking village guards in leather armor clutching spears. And those are, of course, our heroes, and I will give them a little chance to introduce their own characters. And we will be starting with Travis. Go ahead, Travis. Tell us your character name and give us a quick description.
The character's name is Chax. They're a cleric of a deity of nature, and they're unlike any other Arakocra you've ever seen. They're an owl, and they're the largest one you've probably ever seen, about 6 foot tall. Yeah, moving on.
All right. And then we were moving on to Ruben. Go ahead, Ruben, please.
My character's name is Sonia Blackwood. She's a little bit small, with dark hair, with black eyes. She uses a leather with some kind of bracers, and uses a bow with a quiver, and you can see some daggers spread through her wrists, on her boots, and a couple of them on her legs.
All right, and Sonia is a human, and
yes.
I believe she is a rogue, a ranger multi-class, yes?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ranger rogue.
A ranger rogue, excellent. So how many levels in each?
3.
Okay, excellent. Straight down the middle. All right, and that was Ruben's character, and Richard's character. Go ahead, Richard.
You would see a large dragonborn, about 6'9", getting pretty close to 400 pounds. Kind of a grayish blue skin, wearing fully blue splint mail. carrying a large, jagged, curved sword and a shield on his back. The sword kind of glows just ever so faintly, not enough to illuminate anything, but just enough so that looking at it at a glance, you know it's magical. He kind of has a gentle look to him when he's not being deadly serious for combat.
All right, and this character's name is Scar Stormfist.
Yeah, Scar Stormfist. He is a devotion paladin of Bahamut.
Excellent, a paladin of Bahamut. Very interesting. Okay, and last but not least, we have our elven character. Go ahead, please describe him, please.
Before you see Whisper Leafwalker. Whisper Leafwalker is a wood elf, also multi-classing 4 into ranger, 2 into rogue, a monk. Sorry. He seems extremely unarmored. He's only wearing some light clothing. You see a silver short sword on his side and a quite ordinary longbow. And if you see him pacing around the antechamber like the rest of you, you will notice that he's not making any noise when walking. Which seems strange. I mean, he doesn't look very heavy or bulky, but you would expect him to make at least a little bit of noise. He has extremely bright red hair, but the rest of his clothing seems very naturally colored in shades of green and yellow and browns. And he looks like he's very much out of place in this very sturdy stone building. He looks a bit a bit uneasy within the confines of a building.
All right. And as you're waiting, finally the doors swing open, and one guard ushers you into the Great Hall. Great Hall is not such a fitting name. It is not that great. It is a large room, but nothing that would really be considered a hall. There is a long table made of nicely carved wood in the center, and at the end of that table, on a rather large chair, sits an older halfling with a thick thick silver chain around his neck, with a golden medallion bearing the symbol of Fenspire, a mountain top with 2 trees on it. And you figure this must be Baron Nimbin of Fenspire. And there's a few guards standing there, looking a little nervous, as especially the Scar, who's towering above them by a fair bit, steps into the chamber. But the Baron looks at you as soon as you step in, and he sort of gestures for you to come closer and says, "Well, welcome. Is that all? Only the 3 of you? The 4 of you? I'm sorry. I did not see you there, my dear." And he gives Sonia a little smile and says, "Please, I guess 4 is better than none. Welcome. Please, come, sit. Can I offer you anything? Beer or wine or water? Anything like that?" No? Well, that is fine. Please, sit. I assume you came to help us, yes? You have all heard of the problems of the forest? And he hesitates for a moment as his gaze falls on Whisper and says, "You, my friend, you actually look like a forest dweller. Are you one of the elves from Telbin, the village within the forest?"
I'm one of the many elves that reside in the forest, but we too have been struggling with the ongoing problems within the forest. So I'm not here just for yourself. I'm here to preserve my way of life.
Oh, of course, I understand fully. Well, we haven't heard from the villagers of Thelvin in weeks now. If you're not one of them, then they must be at least some sort of, I guess, relatives of yours. We would very much like to know what happened to them. So if you could figure that out along the way, I would not mind at all. What can I tell you? What do you need to know? I mean, I guess you probably already know what is to know. The weird mist and the thorny bushes and the water, the water with the very strange taste. Oh my, I do not know what to do. Even some of my men guarding the sheep and the cattle have disappeared. And now, he looks at his guards to the side. Now most of my men are too afraid to go out into the fields, especially at nighttime. I mean, those herds, they are our lives. If they keep disappearing, within a few months, we will have no animals left. And what is to become of us then? Whatever is happening in the forest, it is spreading, I'm afraid. Whatever you can do, I would be happy to pay you 300 gold per person if you could cleanse the forest and find and destroy whatever evil is responsible for this terrible change that came upon the forests about, well, 3 or 4 months ago.
Don't worry, Scar says in a deep, growly voice. We're going to take care of this.
Good.
By the light of Bahamut,
Oh,
the evil shall be ended.
a holy warrior. That is great. I was hoping one of your kind would show up. I am much reassured by your presence. That is great. That is great. Well, is there anything else you need to know? Or is there anything I can help you with? We have some basic provisions. We could give you some basic weapons, basic armor, or something like that.
What you see?
Shax would step out of. Sorry, go for it. Shax would step out. Sorry,
Okay.
you go.
Let's let Whisper go. He has higher initiative.
What you see when he mentions provisions, he will step forward. It will be very useful, as even though I'm a very skilled forager, it seems that most of the provisions we can find or forage in the forest have been tainted to an extent that it's unsuitable for any length of time.
Yes, the forest once had great trees and bushes with thousands and thousands of berries, very sweet and well-tasting. Our pies were once well known all through the lands, but now the housewives are sad. They cannot bake, and that makes us sad as well. But that is just one of our many problems. Yeah, of course, provisions. We have meat, we have bread, we have cheese. We will give you each at least 5 days worth. I believe that should be enough. You only need about 3 hours walk from here to the edge of the forest, and I am certain you would not spend more than 4 or 5 days within the forest. And he gestures to one of his men, and the man steps out and will return in a few minutes, basically with like small bags of provisions, traveling rations, basically, that he will distribute amongst you.
Back whenever he mentioned the holy warrior thing, Shax would have stepped up from the edge of the group, put a hand on his shoulder, and said, "He's not the only one, my friend. Do not worry. Cheslet does not need your monetary gains, but I would like some food if that's all right."
Oh, of course.
And then nod to him.
Of course. Thank you, my winged friend. I have not seen any of your kind yet, but I have heard great tales of your bravery and skill. I'm looking forward to hear of your adventures another time, yes, when you come back, hopefully safe and sound, and evil vanquished beneath your hands or talents or whatever you call them. So
he just puts a hand on his shoulder to quiet him down and just nods.
If there is nothing else you require of me, I suggest you head out as soon as possible. Fill up your water skins before you leave. We have a few wells in town that are untainted yet. Hopefully that will remain so, but I would not suggest drinking any water in the forest itself. The streams and the lakes there have been weirdly tainted. they leave behind this terrible burning sensation if one drinks it. I mean, people have not yet been killed by it, but we are not sure what effects they could have. Even the animals refuse drinking it.
It's very disturbing that even nature would choose not to drink and eat anymore. That means that it's something very foul at work.
Oh yes, the mists, what we call the emerald mists, they are terrible. This is not natural. These are mists are some kind of witchcraft or some evil magics. I do not know what. We do not have people experiencing these things in Fenspire, I am afraid. But well, we are trying our best. Hopefully, with your help, we will be able to survive this storm, this foulness that has come down and shattered the peace of our lives.
Do you at least have some information where it started?
Well, it started somewhere in the forest. I would suggest going deep as you can. I do not know for certain what lies deep within the forest. We've always stayed away. The elves of Thelwyn have always told us that the heart of the forest itself is a holy place, not to be tread upon. So we have stayed away. So if you enter the forest and head east, I think eventually you will get to the deepest regions, and the elven village Thelwyn is also there. It is about maybe a good day's journey or so in the forest from the edge of the forest.
Do you know how to get there, or have a map to guide us to Thelwyn?
I am afraid not. There are no such things as maps of the forest. We have never ventured too far. There is not many people that have been to the elven village, but a few have. I can only tell you that there is an old path, but I am afraid with the thorn bushes and those very weird vines that have been started to grow everywhere, that path might be unrecognizable now. There is a small stream you could try following to get to the elven village, though. That starts about a good hour or so inside the forest at a large pond. Or, I mean,
Okay.
that's where it ends, I should say, I guess. It starts somewhere deeper within the forest. But that should take you to the village. I have heard that Thelwyn is situated on the stream. I mean, the elves need water as well, yes? And he looks towards Whisper as he says that.
When he does that, you see Whisper is staring out the window in silent contemplation, thinking about his previous visits to the village, and he will turn around to face the Baron. And I am only a border guard, so to speak. I don't reside within the village, but I've been there several times in the past. Maybe that can help us to reach it as fast as possible.
Excellent. Well, then you should not have any problem, I guess. I hope, anyway. Is there anything else you require? I am happy to share any information you might think I have with you.
How many people have gone missing? Like, do we have any rough numbers?
Yes, we have 9 people missing at the moment. The first one started to go missing about a month ago, they are taken by the mist or the creatures within it, the emerald mists.
Where did they go missing? Has anyone disappeared from the village, or have they all been out in the forest?
No, not in the forest. No one has entered the forest since those weird changes, except for a few lumberjacks at the start, but they gave up fighting the thorns and vines very soon. The people, they were guardsmen that guarded our herds, our cattle and sheep. When the emerald mists came, whatever is in the mists, it takes, or maybe the mists themselves, I don't know, they take our animals, and I think some of the guards might have tried to stop it. Sadly, that did not go well.
No
But not,
bodies were ever recovered.
no bodies. We did not find. We found a few weapons discarded, but no bodies. It is as if they had disappeared, been carried away, or something. I do not know.
I'll be
the
right back.
mention,
I'm really sorry.
All right.
at the mention of the bodies also disappearing, or at least not being recovered, do you hold any hope to find them alive again?
I doubt it. I mean, that would be great, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they're dead. If you find them, I mean, we would be very happy to have them back. These men they have families and friends here in town. That would be more than glad to see them again. But as I said, I am not certain. We doubt that they are still alive. Whatever this evil is, must have killed them, or I don't know, made them disappear. Who knows?
Or it ate them.
Or ate them, yes. I'd rather not think on that, though.
My apologies, I do not mean to upset you. I know these are your people.
Oh, these are upsetting times, my dragonborn friend. There is not much you could do to upset me further. I am responsible for the people here, and I can do nothing. I feel hopeless.
We will help you shoulder that responsibility.
Excellent. I will be more than happy to pay you your worth once you return, and hopefully victorious.
At the mention of, or when I start noticing we're just discussing money, you see Whisper already pacing towards the door. He's more than happy to leave this building in this room, and to go back outside.
Yeah, the two of the guardsmen open the doors again, so you can step outside if you want. Yep. And Nimbin, Baron Nimbin looks at you and says, "Well, if there is nothing else left, I bid you luck, and may destiny be on your sides, and may all the gods watch over you."
All right, let's go. And then he would look at Whisper and say, "Whisper, can you take us to the village?"
I'll see how much I remember once I'm back into the woods. It's hard to get your bearings without the familiar trees around me. And you'll see me walking off, and what you notice is that it's quite hard to keep up with me, even walking at a normal pace for you guys. You see me almost hopping along. It's quite peculiar, I think.
Excellent. Okay, so if no one else wants to talk to Baron Nimbin about anything else, then you set out.
I would probably keep up with you just fine, but only because I'd start flying just behind you.
Yeah. So the people, as you fly, jump up, like beating your wings and start flying up. The people of the village stop and like stare at you. Some of them like open-mouthed. A few children like pointing and, "Do you see that, Mama?" As you just fly off. They haven't seen one of your kind before, from the looks of it.
And when I see this or hear this conversation about our owlish friend, I walk over and taunt the little kids, being like, "Yeah, be careful. They take little children for flights, but they don't come back."
Oh. And he sort of hides behind his mother's skirts, and the woman, it's like an older woman, gives you a very stern look, and just shakes his head and says, "The poor children are frightened enough as it is, my good sir. I would thank you not to frighten them more than necessary."
It's good to be afraid of nature. Her wrath is always more evil than humans can think of themselves.
We are well aware of the dangers.
And once he said that, he's already walking off again.
Okay. So yeah, the rest of you just sees a couple humans looking at Whisper's back with frowns as he walks away. Okay, so you leave the village behind. There's quite a few people watching you go, at least a crowd of about 50 or 60 people, and you can see hope and fear on people's faces, battling each other, basically. as you head out, and you head out west, and you can see in between you and the forest, which you can see on the horizon as a dark green blotch of color. There's just basically fields and pastures with small and not so small herds of cattle and sheep and goats, with a few small farms and like stone buildings that are probably some sort of sheds for the animals themselves. Nothing else is there. There is no road or anything like that leading to the forest itself.
I think Whisper will just try and use his quite successful skill in survival to get his bearings, and then just to lead the group as fast as they can.
Okay, so it will take you about 2.5 to 3 hours to walk all the way to the forest, and as you approach the forest, you cannot see any living being anymore. You can hear a few birds chirping, but that's it. There is no cattle or goats or anything like that close to the forest, and the last herder you have seen has been at least an hour and a half ago. So no one seems to approach the forest. And as you get closer, you realize why. Some of you, probably especially Whisper, you have seen this forest before, and it's been always a kind of an idyllic place. Old trees, but not old as in brooding and alien. They were just like old uncles or grandfathers looking down on you with soft smiles. Now the forest has changed. The atmosphere is loaded with some sort of menacing presence. The trees themselves are casting weird shadows onto the ground, and there is thorny bushes that have sprung up, vines with thick black thorns that have started curling around the trees, even on the edge of the forest. And some of them, like tentacles spreading out, have actually started grabbing and clutching at the closest pieces of pasture that surround the villages. It nearly looks that surround the forest. It nearly looks like the wood itself is starting to spread and moving and clutching and growing.
I would fly above like the edge and circle around and go back to my companions on the ground, trying to tell them whatever I might have seen, like just flying over the edge like that.
There is basically nothing to be seen. The canopy of the trees is extremely thick, and you find it very hard to pierce it with your gaze when you fly over the trees. This is an old forest. Here on the border, it should not be that way. You're pretty sure that the trees and on the border of a forest, even an old forest, should not stand this close together, nor should the shadows that they cast be this deep. But they are.
Yeah, Whisper will walk up and enter the woods, and you see him drawing his short sword. Once he does that, you see it has a very silvery shimmer on it, and he will just, while traversing the forest, cut away at some of the unnatural growths he will encounter, because he feels responsible, and he's like trying to remove the taint physically, because at least it's something he can do.
Yeah, as you cut through the vines, they do cut, so you can cut them, but they are of a very spongy, hard texture. It's quite hard to cut them. You sort of basically have to put your sword next, like onto it, and then sort of like with a saw, you have to saw through it. Luckily, there is still enough space for you to pass through as a group. So it's not like in a full-on jungle where you have to cut your way with every single yard, because that would take you, I don't know, days, maybe weeks to get through here otherwise. But you have to be careful because, as I said, thorny vines and small bushes are everywhere, and it is quite easy to stumble and hurt yourself, basically here.
I want to do something.
All right.
Since we are in the forest, I want to use the primeval awareness.
All right.
To see within 6 miles if there's any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends.
I believe you have to choose one of those with primeval awareness. Let me check real quick.
I don't think so.
I think it's all of them. It doesn't specify.
Let me see.
Actually, it's specified as the following. You can sense your favorite enemy within 6 miles and all others within 1 mile. That's what it says in the handbook.
No, it's 6 miles if I'm in my favorite terrain. My favorite terrain is forest.
Yep. Yeah. Let me check that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'll just have to open up my book. But anyway, if anyone else wants to do anything, let me know while I'm looking this up.
At least we'll know what kind of creatures.
Well, I wouldn't really be. Yeah, I wouldn't really be walking along with the group exactly. I'd be above them, going from tree to tree, fluttering around more or less.
Yeah, the trees are high enough so you can do that. It's not like super spacious for you, but it's more. There's more space in the air than on the ground. As long as you're a bit careful where you're flying, it should be fine.
Well, it shouldn't be that hard for him, considering he has 2 trained rangers who both travel in force a lot.
That doesn't help him flying, though.
We point out the obvious branches that he might encounter mid-flight.
Yeah, so you're doing like, hey, wait, there, all the time. So it doesn't really work that way. That's more for people following your footprints, basically.
Yeah, I think it's more for people following along.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, what am I looking for? Oh, ranger. That's right.
Well, yeah, he's right. It's within his favorite terrain. So
Okay.
if he has favorite
blah, blah,
terrain
blah.
forest as well, it's full 6 miles for all types.
Where the fuck is that? Favorite enemy, spellcasting. Where's? Oh, there.
Natural explorer.
Okay. You can use your action and expand one. Blah blah blah. Whether the following types of creatures are present. Yeah, you're right. It is all of them.
We don't know the numbers or the location,
Yeah.
but we know what kind of creatures are there.
Okay. You do not sense any of that.
Nothing.
Nope.
It's not that weird. I mean, it's a very big forest, and we're only at the leading edge of it.
Yes,
and
it is a very big forest. Yes.
And it seems almost desolately abandoned in the outskirts.
Or
so
we're fighting plants.
Who knows?
So I'll tell the others, I don't sense any creatures of any kind nearby.
I mean, you can see a few birds and like a few small rodents and stuff here and there. So it's not like it's completely abandoned, not a single animal to be seen. But there is definitely something weird about this forest. Something spooky.
Okay, at least we took a few of the monsters.
All right. So what would you like to do?
I think the first thing, or the most prudent thing would be to first locate the small lake in the forest, and then follow the river up, because at least that won't be as obstructing as the rest of the forest with all these dangerous vines and stuff.
Okay. So you are sort of familiar with this part of the forest. Not like super familiar, but familiar enough. Although the forest has changed since last time, like a couple months or whatever it was, you were here, you hardly recognize the forest. You do recognize some of the trees. It's not like new trees have grown here overnight or anything like that, but this perpetual atmosphere of dread, these weird vines and these bushes and all that sort of stuff, that's completely new. It was not like this at all. The edge of the forest was very clear. There was very little undergrowth. Yeah, there was like a few berry bushes, a few trees of like apples and such, but you can't see any of that. There's no fruits. There's not even flowers in the trees, actually.
Is there any way to perhaps use knowledge nature to see if there's any natural reason why this might occur?
Certainly, you can if you want, you can take a look around, take a look at a few of the plants and such. Sure, give me a nature check. Oh, you have no idea. You look around and you don't discern any weird. I mean, it's definitely weird, but you can't find any reason, any hints towards why this is the way it is.
Well, with my vantage point, I just try to keep an eye ahead of us, and also maybe looking at little details in the trees I'm flying through, maybe to see if I can see a cause, not necessarily like a major reason, but just something out of the ordinary, even for what I'm seeing, or
Okay.
just keep an eye out, basically.
Okay. Yep. That will be a investigation check, most likely.
I was thinking perception, but investigation's fine.
Well, if you're trying to draw conclusions from what you see, that's more investigation. If you're just looking, if you see something, that's perception. Basically. Or that's
I
how
was saying I was looking to see something.
Okay, so you're just keeping an eye out. Yeah, that's perception then. Okay. If you just want to
Yeah.
keep a general eye out. Yeah, that's
And if it is perception, that's a 23.
okay. It seems, I mean, you don't see any danger. There is definitely a weirdness to the forest. The only thing you do realize is, looking around, that there seem to be no traces of larger animals. That's the only thing that you sort of think, that's weird. I mean, you don't expect to see like deer walking up to you and stuff like that. This is not a fairy tale, but you don't see any tracks or anything like that. No
There's not
sign,
even any tracks either, yeah.
yeah, no sign of larger animals. Anything larger than, say, I don't know, a medium-sized bird, few squirrels. You see like one marten that's looking at you and then darts away. That's the largest creatures you can see. Very few creatures on the ground itself. Very few creatures on the ground itself as well. Most of the creatures you see are in the trees.
Whisper will try to put some distance between him and the walking part of the group, doing so stealthily, which seems to come quite easy to him, as his movements make hardly any or no sounds at all. And I'll try and keep at least make sure that there's no like weird dangers or weird obstacles in our way. Basically scouting ahead a little bit.
Okay. Do you leave some sort of trail behind for the group to follow?
I will, before I walk off, I will say I will always turn the leaves against the wind. And if you look around you, you see that most of the leaves and trees are orientated slightly more towards the west due to the prevailing winds. And I will make sure that there's always a leaf turned the other way for them to spot, so they know there's a little bit of a trail ahead.
Okay. Well, Sonia has some woodsman training, so she should be able to spot that without any problem.
I'll check for footprints or anything to see if anything weird comes out.
Give me a survival check. Oh shit! It just started raining like really heavily outside. Like, oh wow.
23.
Okay, no footprint at all. Nothing.
Okay. As we keep going, I'll go always checking.
Okay, so basically the marching order is Whisper is ahead. How far ahead do you want to be? Like, I don't know, 50, 60 feet or more, like more than that? You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
I would be within about 45 feet, so that would be a single movement for me.
Okay.
So you just see me, I'll put the distance between them, so if anything happens with them, I can always run back fast enough.
Okay, okay. And then Chax is up in the trees, basically. And then Scar...
Yeah, probably about 15 or 20 feet off everyone.
Okay, so you're like in between the two groups, sort of, yeah? Like, Whisper's ahead.
Yes, exactly.
Chax is sort of keeping track of both groups, and then there's Scar, who's like lumbering through the underbrush, just breaking like bushes in his way, pushing them away with his shield and such, and Sonia quietly prancing along next to him.
Yeah, I'll keep close to Scar so he doesn't get lost.
All right, excellent.
Thank you, appreciate that. Scar has no idea what he's doing in the woods.
And Whisper, from what you remember, it will take you about 2, maybe 3 hours, because the undergrowth is thicker and such, to get to that lake. So you will get there just before nightfall, basically. Maybe you'll have maybe an hour at the best left before nightfall when you get to that little, well, lake where that stream will ends, basically, that you will want to follow.
Question.
I will walk back to the group and tell them to make when we get to the lake, we'll make preparations for camp, and we'll spend the night there, as it's a bit easier to see around us with our backs to the lake.
All right.
What does the sky look like right now? Just
The sky.
a quick question. Like, is it really cloudy? Is it clear?
The sky looks fairly green from what you can see. Sort of dark green, like leaves, because it is leaves. You can only see like a little bit of the sky here and there, and it looks grayish with a little bit of sunlight streaking through, but there is next to no sunlight actually hitting the ground. So it's like this perpetual twilight underneath the canopy of the trees.
Okay, I would just be keeping a close watch of clouds and things.
Okay, yeah, there's a few clouds. It doesn't look like there's a storm or anything coming in, but it is a cloudy day.
Okay.
Okay, so you head out and you continue down toward through the forests, and the forest basically swallows you up as you leave the edges of the forest, and the deeper you get inside the forest, the thicker the undergrowth becomes, and only with the skill of Whisper and Sonia combined can you pass through without major difficulties. I mean, you lose a little bit of time here and there, but all in all, you make surprisingly good progress. And it is, to you, nearly like the forest itself is trying to keep you out. It's like if you wouldn't know it better, you would swear that the forest is like shifting around you, trying to put like obstacles in your path, fallen trees, old logs, vine-covered parts of like forest. In some parts, the vines nearly look like spider webs barring your way, so you literally have to cut your way through, like thorny bushes sprouting out exactly in your path and such. It's weird. It's a very, very weird feeling. You all get the feeling, especially Whisper, because you're very aware of the forest around you. You get the feeling that you're not welcome here. It's as if the forest itself is watching you with a gaze that is not friendly at all.
As Scar shoves his way through yet another tangled brush of thorns, pushing them out with his shield, he looks over at the two rangers and he just says, "I don't know how you people can like being in the forest."
And from above them, they just hear like a chuckle from me as I went from tree to tree, avoiding all of the conflict entirely.
Yeah, for you it's easier. It's not super, super easy, because there's also some vines and such you have to be careful about, not to be entangled in, but it's much easier than on the floor itself, because there's no thorn bushes floating in midair, so it's easier. All right, so you walk for a few hours, and then nearly without any warning, the forest ends, and there is a small lake in front of you. Whisper, you're the first one to stumble basically out of the bushes, or step out of the bushes, and see this lake. And there's about maybe 5 or 6 yards in between the edge of the forest and the lake itself. Calling it the lake would be maybe even too grand a word. It is really just a large, muddy pond.
And when I burst out of the tree line, you'll see me taking a deep breath, as there's at least a little bit of a break in the oppressive nature of the forest I was used to, being so open and friendly. So for me, it's like you see me physically relaxing. Once the rest of the party catches up, you see me almost in a meditative position at water's edge, just trying to get my bearings and relax again.
And Chex will also rejoice, because now finally you can see the sky again, and finally, if you want, you can fly up without having to worry about getting entangled in vines and tree branches.
Yeah, as soon as I would get out of there, I'd land next to him and then just shoot straight up and fly around, maybe do a couple spins and go back down and land next to them.
All right. It feels quite nice to be able to fully stretch your wings without having to constantly keep an eye on like both sides so you don't break your wings by accident. All right, looking around, you can definitely see that this water is probably not the greatest drinking water. A, because it's muddy, and B, because of what you've heard from the mayor, from the Baron, I mean. And what the second thing you realize is there is a small stream opposite you that's sort of flowing into the pond. And the whole area here is a little bit of like a small marshland, basically. It's muddier than in the general forest that you've seen in here. Not dangerously muddy. It's not like there's sinkholes you have to be careful of, but there's just like the ground is just a bit spongy and more muddy.
Scar is going to walk over to the puddle that is this pond, and just basically he's going to scoop some up in his hand, and he's going to pray and cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay.
See if there's any poison or disease in this.
Actually, yes. You detect a slight hint of something poisonous within the water itself.
Say, I'm going to turn to the rest of the group and go, this water isn't just bad for you, it's poison. I'm going to look over at Whisper. You know anything in the forest that can do this?
You see me trying to figure something out. What kind of poison do you think it is? Because that it's poisonous is quite obvious. And I'll take a look across the pond. Is there like any small fishes like gasping for air and that kind of stuff like you would see with water poisoning?
Nothing. It is flat, like it is just a mirror, a muddy mirror without any movement.
Of which I would fly
insects?
above the pond.
Yep.
I would fly above the pond and keep, like, I'd be looking down into it, see if I can see if there's obviously any sort of obstructions or like dead things or what have you.
Give me a perception check from up above.
Sure
With
thing.
advantage, because you have a very good vantage point, so with advantage.
Alright, that's a 22.
You do realize that there is quite a few...
23.
Okay. You do realize that there's quite a few dead fish swimming or floating just under the surface of the lake. It's hard to see them because it's very muddy water, but from up above you can see their shapes. They're not massive fish, but still.
Isn't there
Looking back up the stream, how big is it? Would it be possible to make a small raft and go up it, or is it more of a mountain stream?
It is quite wide. It's maybe about, I don't know, 20 feet wide or so, but it seems to be quite shallow. It would be at most maybe knee deep or so. So a raft would probably not be really able to push yourself. I mean, it would be very slow going with a raft. There's quite a lot of rocks and like sandbanks, if you can call that a sandbank. It's a small stream in the stream itself.
What's the forest like around the stream? Is there a little bit of a clearing on either side as well, like we see with the lake, or is it almost up to the water?
It is a little better than just going through the forest itself, but not like by a large amount. But it's a little better, yeah, definitely.
And I look towards the rest of the group, and I suggest we make camp here for the night, unless you want to keep going. I'm fine with that. My eyes are quite attuned to nighttime conditions, as that's part of my job.
Looking up, you think that you might have about an hours of daylight left. So it's now about 5:30-ish in the afternoon.
So what do you think?
I say I would jump up and say, I say we set up camp for the night, but tomorrow let us travel by that creek and I'd point towards it because it's a lot more clear and I'd be all about that.
Yeah, for you it's great because you have about yeah, as I said, about 20 feet wide. Not quite 20 feet because the trees are sort of reaching in both sides, but it will be a clear, like, air road that you can follow without having too much to worry about. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you set up camp basically,
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
assume you want to like stick to your own provisions, not trying to like pluck berries or try to hunt animals or anything like that.
But you see me as we're about to rest for quite a significant amount of time. You see me walking up to the water's edge and muttering a few words. You see out of sight of the rest of the party, and then you see me turn around and I'm holding 10 berries. And I'll disperse the berries among the group so everyone gets like two or three. And these are good berries, and you can eat them, and they will provide nourishment for at least a full day. Or you can eat them if you if you have any aches or pains, and they will restore some of your life.
You said there were a few birds around?
There is a few birds around, yes.
I'm going to try to hunt some.
Okay. Give me a just a ranged attack, I assume, or whatever or melee attack, depending on how you want to hunt them.
I have a bow, so.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a ranged attack to see how well your hunt goes.
Oh yeah, I can't even hunt a bird.
Rather poorly.
The 12.
The birds are rather dexterous and manage to evade the few arrows you shoot at their way, and then it seems to be clear that there's a predator in the area, so all the birds just disappear. And you're like, oh shit.
Okay, let's stick with the berry.
Okay.
And Scar is gonna look at Sonya and be like, "You're hunting too small." And then he kind of glances over at Chax.
It would definitely be easier to hit. But he's with us.
I would take off my robe and begin to set up camp, and they'd see I'm wearing full chainmail and have a shield on my back ready to go. And I chuckle their way, and I'm looking around the woods, and I was just about to go hunting whenever he handed me this berry. I'm like, well, I can't now eat it.
All right.
Do owls eat berries?
That's a good question.
Owls that are devoted to goddesses of nature.
He's not an owl. He's just an owl-looking Aarakocra, and I assume they eat everything.
I'm an owl man. The man part eats berries.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also closely related to Batman and
Yeah.
Bear Pig and
yeah.
Exactly, man bat.
All right. So what's the order of? I assume you wanna once finishing dinner and setting up camp. I assume you wanna post like at least one of you and guard duty before you settle down to sleep. Oh, and also, do you want to make a fire or not?
If two of you can spot for a couple of hours, I only need 4 hours of sleep, so I can take the rest of the night until the morning. So you see me walking off, sitting beneath a tree, and you see me going to some kind of almost relaxing trance, and I'll let the rest of the group figure out what they want to do.
All right.
Is there a moonlight?
There is a little bit of moonlight. The moon is about half full, and there is quite the heavy cloud cover, but there is a little bit of moonlight.
Do I can see well?
Not well, but you can see silhouettes, like you can see shapes.
Scar is gonna make a fire.
Okay.
I'm not hanging out in a dark, creepy forest at night.
Okay.
Without having a fire.
Okay.
I'm taking the first shift then.
Is there any?
So
Scar would start
building a fire, and after that gets going, he'd start taking off his armor and stuff, and you'd see this kind of grayish blue, dragonish kind of hide, but you would see deep scars in his back, kind of, old wounds that have healed over. Puts it down, rolls out his bedroll, just kind of gets ready to go to bed for the night and sleep, and says, "Wake me up when it's my watch."
Okay, and yes, there are quite a few large trees, so if checks you want to have like sleep in a tree, there is no problem at all. You can do that easily.
Yeah, that is exactly what I would do, and I just asked them to wake me up whenever it was my shift, and whenever it was my shift, I'd just circle the camp.
All right. So, Ruben, so Sonia is doing first watch, basically,
Yep.
as everyone else settles down to sleep. The forest is, as night falls, is creepy. I mean, you're used to forests, but this is quite creepy. There is not as much noise as you would like, and at the same time, the noise that you do hear sounds weirdly twisted. It's like something's giving all the sounds around you a slight spin, making them just weird enough to sound alien and unfamiliar to your ears. What is the call of night birds and the maybe rustling of small animals in the brush takes on a much more menacing quality. But your watch passes without any incident.
Okay. Then I'll sleep far away from the fire.
Okay.
I don't want to be seen if
All right.
anything goes
Who
up.
do you want to wake up after your watch finishes?
Checks, I believe.
Okay.
It was for the
So you throw small rocks at Chex, who's in the tree, to wake him up. Okay, and Chex wakes up.
Your turn.
You
to
just
watch.
hear a squawk as I almost fall out of the tree. Hi, thank you for telling me so politely, and I'd just fly out of it, and if anybody would look up during the night, I'd just be flying around the pond. By the way, the rain is really bad where I'm at, so if I cut out, it's because the power went out.
All right, good to know. Good to know. All right, the rest of the night passes without incident. All of you are slightly spooked by this forest, but no attacks. You don't hear any loud noises, and certainly nothing seems to be attacking you. You do hear, this is by the way not wrong, you do hear a few howls of wolves in the distance. So the first sign of any larger creature that you have, well, heard or seen so far since entering the forest.
Does the howling sound natural?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, everything sounds slightly weird in this forest. As I said, all the noise seems slightly off, but as far as you can tell, it does sound natural, yeah.
Okay. Can we? I'll ask Jax to go up and see if he can locate the direction of the howls and see if they're also coming from our travel direction.
Yeah, you can if you want. Jax, give me a perception check.
Sure thing. My perception is awesome. Ah, darn. That's an 11.
Okay, you can't quite discern where it's coming from. You think it's vaguely east, direction you're going, but other than that, you can't say anything.
Natural perception, like the passive, instead.
All right. So, what do you want to do? Follow the stream, follow the stream, or something else?
I think following the stream would be okay.
All right. Same marching order as during the last day. Yeah. Okay. And so, Whisper, thinking back, you think you figure it will take you probably about 5-6 hours to get to the small elven village Thelbin, which basically, as far as you remember, you've been there a couple times. There's like a few distant relatives of yours living in the village. There was about maybe 30 or 40 elves living there. It's like a village of like small houses in the trees, surrounding a spring where that little stream comes out, basically. So it wasn't a massive settlement or anything, but there was a few dozen elves there, definitely. For wood elves like yourselves.
And while we walk up, I'll keep an eye out for anything floating in the stream, like any things that seem out of place, maybe items or pieces of clothing or
All right.
along those lines.
Being above everyone, I would do the same thing and try to keep my eyes ahead of everybody.
Okay.
See if there's anything I can see.
Okay. So as you're progressing towards the let me just stop this and put this on. Okay. As you're progressing towards the east, all through the morning, nothing much changes. The stream seems clear enough, but after a few hours, the air around you, the quality of the air slightly changes, and maybe the wind shifted or something, you're not quite sure, but you detect a weird acidic smell in the air, and it sort of makes this tingling in the back of your throat when you breathe too deeply. It's not like it doesn't hurt as such, but it's just a slightly unpleasant sensation.
I would fly above, like straight up as much as I can, and kind of just hover in one spot, looking down, trying to see what that was, or at least trying to get a little bit above it.
When you look, as you fly up, as soon as you're like maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 feet above the canopy of the trees, the smell is dispersed by the wind that's up there, so you can't smell it anymore. Looking ahead into the direction you're going, you do realize that you're walking into what looks like a fog bank, a very large fog bank covering massive parts of the forest ahead of you. And it's sort of sticking to the trees itself. It's not high up in the air, and it has this slight greenish tinge. It's not like white fog as you would expect it.
I would fly straight down to Whisper, land next to him, and just tell him what I just saw.
Yeah, that's still a couple 100 yards in front of you, so it's not like very close.
You see Whisper taking a little bit of cloth from his backpack and start to fashion a little bit of a face mask, while also obscuring his face. So it has two functions, I guess.
Yeah.
And he will gather or wait for the rest of the party, and we will share the information. And I guess then it would be prudent to maybe scout up a bit further. And see if there's anything at the edge of the fog bank before we enter it.
All right.
Yeah, you better go stealth.
Okay. So it's not like a wall as such. Like the fog bank suddenly starts. It's just like a little bit of mist, and then a little bit more mist, and then a little bit more mist, and then there's like this the heavier cover so as such. But you can still see through it. It's not like so thick fog that like the fog's not as thick that you can only see maybe, I don't know, 10 feet or anything like that. You can still see at least 30, 40 feet within the fog. It just gives everything this slight greenish shimmer of like the light that pierces through it, just gives everything this slight greenish tinge. And the smell as you approach the fog gets stronger. Although that piece of cloth that Whisper has bound around his face, especially if you like put a bit of water on it or something like that, does help against that annoying feeling in the back of your throat.
And you said that it only got up to about the top of the trees?
Slightly above, yeah. Not far above that, no.
Okay. Well, I would probably stay about above that to where I wasn't actually touching it, and just keeping an eye out like I have been this whole time.
Okay, so if you're that high up, so that would be about maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 feet above the ground, it is quite hard to make out your companions. They are just formless shapes, humanoid shapes wandering through the mist.
Okay, in that case, as long as it doesn't seem too harmful, like they're all going in and nothing's happening, I would grab a piece of cloth as well, putting it around my beak the same way he did, and fly up and stand next to them and walk with them. I don't want to lose sight of them, basically.
I'll try and while being very silent, I'll try to make sure that.
Sorry, guys, I just dropped out for a second.
No worries.
Please repeat what you said.
I'm just making sure that my bird friend can still follow me, so I will slow down if it's necessary, so he can keep flying safely.
All right.
And I would also put a cloth around my face and lower enough, not necessarily where I was right next to them, but to where I can see them more clearly, even if that means going a little bit into the...
All right, excellent. Okay, so you travel onward for a few hours, now in this perpetual mist with this slight acidic taste to it. And now the noise around you is even more hollow, even more unreal. Everything slightly distoriated by the fog itself. And the light, as I said, the sunlight falling up from above pierces the fog, but as it pierces the fog, everything turns into this greenish tinge. So it looks like you're walking through some sort of unnatural land where everything is green, this dark emerald green. And you figure this must be the fog that the Baron talked about, the fog that sometimes comes creeping out of the forest and, well, steals animals and people. And then you can see Whisper just disappearing in the fog.
The fog has taken him.
Out of the chat.
But he's back again. He's like, I'm gone, guys. Oh, sorry. Just kidding. Here I am. Okay.
I was just hiding in the fog a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys can see Scar starting to get real nervous with kind of what's going on here with all the fog and stuff. And he's just kind of looking around, kind of keeping a hold of his sword, like a hold of his sword handle. Just kind of looking around. And
all right.
This is not natural.
I put my hand on Scar and said, "Relax, keep calm. Nothing happened."
Relaxed. I'm just vigilant.
And I would definitely have my shield and sword drawn, ready at any moment.
Okay. About a good 2 hours after you entered the fog, so it is now approaching noon. Whisper, you spot something ahead. It is a shape floating in the stream next to you. You look across it and you realize it is a body. A humanoid silhouette wedged between two rocks in the stream. One arm sort of dangling and floating with the stream itself.
Whisper will cautiously walk up. For the people that were trying to follow me, you see that for all intensive purposes, you see me almost disappear. In the sense that his wood elven skills in moving stealthily through forested terrain, you see him basically donning the mask of the wild, basically going into, okay, I want to inspect this without being disturbed.
Give me a stealth check.
Which I think you have advantage on as well.
Yeah, I have advantage on it because of the boots.
Because of your boots, yeah, that's right.
So there'll be an 18, I believe.
All right. Yeah, nice. Yeah. So you use the cover of the fog, even though you don't like it, but still, and the trees itself to just vanish from sight, and walk up, and you look down onto the body, and you can see the face of an elf, a human, a male elf, in his middle years, long brown hair, floating in the stream, one arm stretched out, the other sort of close to it, and it has this visage of pain It's like this wide open eyes, mouth open, the tongue actually hanging out slightly. The tongue itself seems swollen. And while looking at this elf, you realize this is not just a fog. The elfin skin has this green tinge on it that is not natural.
Well, the first thing people notice, or people will notice about Hazel or Whisper, is you hear a very silent words floating through the mist, and you hear this desperate cry, but muffled a little bit, of Hazel. And you see, once people start walking up, you see Whisper kneeling in the stream next to what is apparently one of his relatives. And he will explain that this is Hazel, is one of his cousins, and he's like, you see this desperation in his eyes, like he's completely taken aback by the way that his nephew is laying here, because he always knew him as a very jovial kid, and for those of you that aren't elves, you look at him, go like, kid, he looks quite adult. But for elven years, he was still quite young and fresh and jovial. But I don't know what happened, but this is...
Yeah, he's wearing leather armor, and there is a sword close by on the ground outside the stream, a slightly curved scimitar, but the sword itself looks untouched. There is no blood on it. And as you look at Hazel's body, you do not see any wounds as such. His eyes, however, and his tongue are protruding, and they're both larger than they should be, basically, swollen up.
I would go ahead and like kneel down next to Whisper and the corpse, and I'd put my hand around his shoulder and say, well, I think I could give you a few more moments with Hazel. Perhaps allow you to ask a few important questions. And I would sit down in a meditative position and just start praying. And after about 10 minutes or so, the glow would probably come back into the elf's eyes, and it would lean up a little bit as I cast Speak with Dead on it as a ritual.
All right.
What are the visual effects of this spell? Like, what do we see?
Basically, I give it enough intelligence to remember the things it had in life, and you can ask up to 5 questions, and you would see it, the body just lean up and probably just sit up and just stare. It's still dead, but
yeah,
their soul is in them for a moment.
Open slightly wider, and there is a breath taken in. The tongue is still hanging out a little bit, and the one eye looks around and fixates on Whisper's face. And the corpse doesn't actually sit up, but it sort of twitches, and it raises its head slightly.
Does this seem natural?
No. No,
okay,
not at all.
At that point you see Whisper almost he falls over backwards, like into the stream, like totally taken aback, because it's almost like someone is or some necromantic force is taking his relative and corrupting him. So the rest of the party will see like frightened and panicked eyes.
Hazel is fine. I've just brought her back for a few moments. You can ask a few questions if necessary.
Hazel, what happened? What made you be this way?
The mist. The mist came. It took us.
What killed you?
Pain in my chest. I could not breathe. No air.
Where is the rest of the village? Is everybody okay?
The village destroyed. The spirits attacked us.
I would put my hand up to Whisper and go, "You only have 2 more questions. Make them count."
And you'll see me looking back. And do you have anything important you want to ask? And you see him physically like almost shaking with emotion. And I'll look at Scar and with this look in my eyes of maybe can you tell me what's going on? As I saw him noticing the poison in the water earlier.
Scar would look at Whisper and say, "I fear that the poison in the water is simply just a collection of what is in the air." And I'll look at the corpse of Hazel, and I'll say, "Where did the spirits come from?"
The spirits of the woods. They have turned against us.
Why would that have happened? What have you done, or what have others done to incline the wrath of the forest?
It must be the heart. The heart of the forest was corrupted. As the body just sinks back with one last breath and then stops moving.
Put my hand on Whisper's shoulder and say, "He's in a better place now."
I hope so. This forest was his
I would
life.
reach up with
May he go with his
while
gods.
they're talking. I would reach up with 2 of my talons and close his eyes.
I don't think we should leave him here like this.
We'll give him a proper burial.
After the rituals,
elves
after
bury
ritual,
their dead or burn their dead?
after the ritual has been completed, you see Whisper try and drag Hazel out of the woods or out of the stream.
Yeah, easily enough.
Well, if you would know my strength score, you would know it's not that easy for me.
Oh, okay.
I might be agile and fast, but I'm not necessarily extremely strong.
Scar will help him.
And I'll put him. Normally, the wood elves would bury their dead underneath a tree, but with the corruption around, I don't know if that is a prudent way to proceed at this point. So I'll just basically lie him down, like propped up against a tree, folding his arms, and I will take some branches and some leaves and basically make like a small funeral bed around him.
Okay.
With maybe decorate it or with some braided branches and stuff like that. Basically, giving letting other people that would pass this know that this is a dead man, and he should be let alone or left alone.
Yes, excellent.
And I will take a look at his weapon, and maybe we can take it with us, as he clearly has no use for it anymore.
It is a very finely made elven scimitar. A very old weapon, probably passed down through generations, but it's made by elven weaponsmiths and can last hundreds of years.
Does it look familiar?
Not really. You have seen many of these swords. It has a few carvings on the hilt. The hilt itself is made of wood, and you do recognize it as something that has been made by Leith. Leith is one of the leaders of Felvin village. He's like the elder, basically, a very old elf, about 400 or 500 years old. He and his wife, Jelania, are 2 leaders of the Felvin village. They were both artists, wood carvers of great skill. So you recognize the carvings as made by Leith.
Yeah, basically like a maker's mark of sorts.
Not really a maker's mark. Elves do not really have that ego that they have to put their own name onto something, because they last generations themselves.
So it's more of a recognizable style.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough. I'll put it into my belt, basically taking it with us, and maybe we can act upon whatever caused this with a vengeance.
Okay.
I would look around the scene and see like if there's any maybe signs of struggle or something I could find around the stream to indicate any other sign of death other than poison.
Give me a survival check.
Survival, give me just a moment to find that.
Okay.
I don't remember what I've... Okay. Ooh, that's a 23.
Okay. Looking around, you find footsteps. The footsteps are quite a few days old, however. They're nearly completely worn away, but they are elven footsteps, probably the footsteps of this poor Hazel that ran here. And you do realize you don't see any other footsteps as such, no other trail or anything, but you do realize that he has been, while walking, so he came from the east, following the stream, kind of like you do, only the opposite direction. And he seemed to have been very weak. You think he was basically just stumbling along, maybe poisoned or weakened by some disease or something, and then just collapsed and fell into the stream and basically died there. Maybe drowned, or maybe just died from the poison or whatever it is. And dropped his sword along the way, basically.
I would tap Whisper on the shoulder, point out the tracks, and go, I think this is your poor friend's tracks. If we backtrack them, we might could find the village a little faster.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to go. I mean, I want to see if there's any possible survivors left in the village. I mean, even though it might be destroyed, maybe we can find out what happened then, or find out whoever did this.
All right.
We should haste. We might still find someone alive.
The trail looks at least 5 or 6 days old. It's basically it's nearly disappeared. Just because you rolled so well, you managed to pick it up. So whatever happened was definitely, as I said, at least 4 or 5 days ago.
Well, then still, the longer this corruption stays within the forest, the more it will leave a scar for generations to come. So we should make haste nonetheless.
Okay.
And you see Whisper packing up whatever he drops and start moving in the direction, making sure his mouth guard or his cover is positioned well, and he will water it from his water skin to make sure that the water that's on it isn't corrupted.
Excellent.
Like the water in the stream. And I'll advise the rest of the group to do the same.
I will do the same, and I will go, finally, and I'll fly back up to my previous position, following them from above.
Okay, so
try to stay a little bit out of the fog.
Okay, you resume marching order, push deeper into the fog, and you follow the stream. Do you follow the footprints as well? You backtrack them, but they have been basically running next to the stream at all times. Sometimes you lose the trail, and then you find 2 or 3 footprints again in ground that's been a bit firmer. Then you lose the trail again, and so on. But definitely, this Hazel has been following the stream for what you can see, probably for hours, maybe even longer in his weakened state. And you backtrack this, walk for about 2 hours or so. And then you can see the stream becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and you reckon you would be not far from its origin, and therefore the elven village, or whatever is left of it.
I will signal to the rest of the group that I will look ahead, and you see me almost disappearing again into the fog, and the now apparently abundant undergrowth in the forest. And I'll try and sneak up and see if there's anything in the forest that might be harmful before we enter with the rest of the group.
All right, give me a stealth check.
While he does that, I'd like to do the same thing, but from the air.
Okay.
Just trying to see if I can see the village by now or anything harmful. Want to make perception or something?
Yeah, perception for you. Yeah, 24.
Okay, sure
yeah,
thing.
you are very quiet.
And then I want to use my...
That's a 18.
Okay. What was that, Ruben? Sorry, go ahead.
I want to use again the primeval awareness to see if there's something in the surroundings.
Okay, what creatures again do you detect with that?
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Okay, you detect a fey presence in the surrounding area.
Then I'll tell Scar right away. I detect some fey presence around here. We're probably
Scar's
gonna have problems.
pull out his sword and shield and just gonna look around and be ready for anything.
Yeah. And the others are gone, so I can tell anything to them.
Exactly. All right, so
What do I
both Chax and Whisper, you look around, you don't see any living, moving beings. There's not even small animals close by here. You do see, however, the elven village on a small clearing, and basically there's been there's small, very with a lot of were very well made small wooden huts up in the trees. Well, that's what it was once anyway. Now the whole clearing is just a picture of absolute destruction. It looks like a thunderstorm, like a hurricane has hit the village. The buildings themselves are torn apart. One single large tree is actually toppled and sort of held by the roots and like hanging like this in midair, like diagonal, basically. And there's debris everywhere.
I would fly back down to Sonya and Scar and tell them I see the village ahead.
Yeah, the village is only about maybe 150 feet or so ahead of you at the moment.
Scar is gonna start making his way towards the village hastily.
Okay.
I also informed the
Checks.
that there is a Fey around here. And just so you know, Fey is my favorite enemy, so
Okay.
I get to survive. Yeah, I had chosen because of the forest.
That's awesome.
Just writing it down real quick, like 5 seconds ago.
No, I should have told you. I know you were gonna say that.
Oh, Faye, right, sweet.
I believe you. I believe you. All right.
I wanted to make a survival to check for, and fuck.
Check for what?
For survival?
Fey tracks. Okay. Yep. Okay.
While this is going on, Whisper will stealthily explore the village and see if he finds any weapon markings or other obvious signs to maybe identify what caused this.
You look around, and first thing you notice is there is no bodies here, at least no complete bodies. You find a few pieces, literally pieces. Like there is an arm lying there, there's part of a foot, there is half a face, there is like a torso with half an arm attached. Whatever has been here has literally torn these elves apart. There's weapons scattered around, there's, as I said, there's like furniture that has fallen out of the huts. Some of the huts have actually been torn out of the trees and broken apart. So there's like scattered furniture and all that stuff. Looking around, you figure that this, whatever this was, very few, if anyone, would have survived this. This something, whatever hit the elven village, was of such a fury, of such a strength, that it just tore everything apart.
Is it anything I might be able to identify? Maybe looking back at my previous experiences or lore of the forest or anything like that?
It's hard to say. Whatever it was, it must have been very strong or magical. Very strong magically, in one way or the other.
Do I see any tracks or other indentations or signs of movement that would fit something of this size?
There is a few tracks, but they are wolf tracks. Large wolf tracks, maybe dire wolf or wargs. But those creatures can't be responsible for the destruction. I mean, some of those creatures might have eaten parts of the bodies that were lying around, but they wouldn't be able to tear apart like the huts or break, like nearly break one of the trees and such. Not even in large number.
Scar is going to just kind of look around and he's going to inspect some of the some of the bodies and body parts and stuff to see what markings might be on them, if they were bitten or torn or what.
Give me an investigation check. You're not sure.
7.
The body parts are partially rotten, and you're pretty sure small vultures and like similar creatures like ravens and maybe a few foxes and such have already been here and eaten parts of the bodies. So it's very hard to say any specifics. Whatever happened here, however, with Whisper, after looking at it, you'd say it was about a week ago or so, maybe even more.
So it would fit the time window that we already determined in regards to Hazel's death, basically
Plus,
6 days ago.
Yeah, plus or minus a few days. It's hard to really say these things with pinpoint accuracy, but yes, this is not something that happened like last night or recently. About a week ago, maybe 6 days, maybe 8 days, something like that.
Okay.
I would lean forward and go, let me see if I can get a better view of everything, and I'd start flying around the village, looking possibly into the trees if I can, or around the huts, and see, like, maybe basically do the same things they've been doing, but from a better vantage point.
All right,
going all around the city doing that.
Yep, give me an investigation check as well.
Investigations are evil. That's a 7.
The mist and the time that has passed since the attack makes it really hard to tell anything with any details.
I just fly around in circles.
Okay.
Whisper is trying to recall in which direction the heart of the forest would be from here.
The heart of the forest would be maybe a good, I don't know, day's travel or so to the east or southeast, actually.
I will go back and find the rest of the group, who's probably somewhere in the village, or at least I'll see Jax flying around, and I'll basically drop out of stealth, and I'll just walk over. I think we have to go to the heart. Something is corrupting it in a way that's putting the forest up against what is usually the protectors. We as the wood elves, we protect our environment against outsiders, but the environment seems to be attacking us.
So Whisper, what you know, you have not been to the heart of the forest yourself. Only the elven elders are permitted to go there. But you have heard that there is a massive tree called the Heart Tree, an ancient tree that's growing out of a small hill. And on the foot of that hill is what's called the Crystal Lake. And that lake and that tree are the heart of the forest. They are where the natural energies of the Tarysh Woods sort of are the strongest.
Okay. And I will share this with the group, and I'll explain that whatever is causing this must be originating there. If it has enough power to seemingly engulf the entire forest slowly, it can only have started there. And I think even though it's a day's journey, I don't know if I can stay here.
You still have about at least 4 hours of daylight left.
Then I suggest we should keep moving and at least get into the proper direction, and because I cannot stay at this place, it's too much. And you see he's yet again physically shaken by the fact that he's basically witnessing the destruction of his entire extended family and the homes they have built over centuries. And he starts walking off like he doesn't want to stay here anymore.
All right.
And I would probably go up to the group and go, for whoever needs fresh air, I'm willing to give rides for those small Scar.
I can make my own way. And Scar's gonna just be like, if we're encountering fey creatures out here, they can be very tricky and deceitful, and they use a lot of magic. Stay close to me. The power of Bahamut can help you dispel some of those magics. And it just as a metagame, kind of talking about the fact that you guys, if you're within 10 feet of me, you get my charisma modifier added to any of your saving throws, which we might need if we're fighting against any fey creatures.
All right. So you head out into the forest, moving southeast. Do you want to take the same marching order like you did before, or are you staying close together now, as Scar has suggested?
I think Whisper will still be slightly in front, trying to taking advantage of the fact that he's so quiet and making sure that the main, if there's any attention that might be attractive to the group, he can always come to their aid from an unexpected angle and basically give some advantage to the positioning of the party.
Okay. Okay.
And I would still be above everyone a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. As you move through the forest, you realize the fog is not, even though it's always been around you, it's not always equally strong. There's a few areas where it's weaker, and there's a few areas where it's stronger. So don't imagine this as like a massive cloud that's always equal. It's like a large, it is definitely something massive, but there is pockets of concentration and pockets where it's nearly disappeared. You pass through several. Yeah, it's not like in the Mist movie where it's just like a wall going through everything. It is, as so far, I mean, except for the weird smell and the color and all that other stuff, the texture itself is fairly natural. Like a normal fog bank, a large one, it is not always the same depth, density, basically. And yeah, you walk for several hours, pushing deeper and deeper into the forest. There is no sign of any civilization here. At the start of your journey, you saw a few cut down trees here and there, what could be like a small orchard. And then as you approach the Elven village, you could see a few like carvings in the trees. But now that you're leaving this all behind, it is just the ancient part of the forest that hardly ever has seen a human footfall, or dragonborn for that matter. The only beings that do come here, and even those not very regularly, are the elves themselves. And yeah, as you are pushing onward, and as night approaches, you all feel this menacing aura of the forest becoming stronger around you, as if the forest has now noticed you and is looking towards you, straight at you, from every bush, from every tree, as the shadows grow longer and denser and darker, and as the sun slowly starts.
I would call that. Sorry, I would call down to my companions and go, "Steel yourself, my friends. Our presence is felt here."
Whisper will, while we move, just try and see if there's any like natural spot that would be suitable for spending the night. Basically, something that's somewhat covered off, like maybe a growth of trees that's like super condensed, so we can actually hide inside it somewhat. Anything of that nature that would be big enough to hold us, I'll take note of.
Give me a survival check. I'll be back in a second. Just drop my die.
Thank God for favorite terrain.
Nice.
So with advantage because of favorite terrain, I get a 22 survival on the last one.
You find a small grove of trees that surround a small clearing, only about maybe 20 feet wide or so, but you do realize while stepping inside that these trees feel different from the rest. These trees immediately surrounding the clearing. And looking at them, you realize this is some sort of ancient elven holy place, basically, like a small shrine. And you can see in the middle of the clearing is a small rock, and there is a few carvings around in the rock, holy symbols of the elves.
And I'll take a small walk, like inside the grove, like around the stone, to check it out, see what's around, and see if I see any signs of recent visits, either by the elves or something else.
Nothing.
If I don't see that, I will walk up to the stone and lay my hand on it, because I've not been here, but it seems familiar and friendly, and especially in comparison to the rest of the forest. And I'll put my hand on it and see if I can either sense something.
You touch this stone, and for a second there is a connection with something, and you can feel pain and fear running through your body. And then there is a blink of green, and you can hear a voice saying, "Welcome." And then the connection is gone, and you stumble back, and you're like, "What the hell was that?"
It seems that the forest is trying to communicate with us. And I'll walk back to the rest of the group and beckon them to come into the grove, as I have the feeling that this will be quite a safe place, considering the fact that the presence isn't that strong here. So maybe there's some magical warding going on here, or something else protecting this location from the
use
corruption.
my divine sense to see if this is consecrated ground.
It is.
Okay. And all that the group knows is this is holy ground, powerfully protected by divine magic.
I guess that only strengthens my resolve that this would be a good place to spend the night, as it seems to be a little alcove of safety within this oppressive.
Indeed, it feels like
forest.
a small pocket of normality within all this twisted energy that is seeping through the rest of the forest.
To help with the fog and the terrible smell, I would take out my censer, put a block of incense in it, and light it.
No fog. There is actually no fog here, and even the smell is basically gone. You just notice it now because you've smelled it for so long that it's basically become like a natural part of you. But now, once you mention it, you realize, I can't smell this stench anymore.
Well, I would be lighting it, and then I look around and go, "There's no fog in here," and then I continue to light my censer and just set it down and start setting up camp for the night, starting a fire.
All right.
I'm gonna take a look around to see if find something.
What are you looking for?
For the same thing, footprints from Faith.
Okay, right. Give me a survival check.
17.
Okay, you don't find any spade prints. What you do find is several large wolf prints, and they are fairly fresh within the last maybe hour or so.
Very big wolves. Okay.
Yes, wargs or dire wolves, in your opinion.
I go back near the rest of the party, and I tell them,
Okay.
guys, I found some big wolf footprints around there, and they seem recent. So we better watch out.
And I will come over to Scar and tell him not to light a fire, as it will both attract extra unwanted attention, and it doesn't seem very feasible to build a fire within a holy place, as it's all about the growth and nature, and we're trying to burn stuff here. That doesn't seem very respectful.
As he says that to Scar, you might look over and see Shax like put the sticks down like right and just push them aside, and he'd then fly up to a tree in this alcove and have his longbow at the ready.
All right. The trees are on the edges. In the middle is a clearing, so you can take a tree, but it's like on the edge of the clearing. Above you, you can see a bit of sky, basically.
How far, like, how big is this, and where are the trees in
Only
relation?
about, it's pretty circular, nearly a perfect circle, in fact, if you look at it closely. And it's about a radius of maybe 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet. So, like, across in diameter, it's like 40 feet-ish.
Okay, then I would definitely fly up into the top of a tree and maybe call out to my companion something like, wolves can't get into trees, and
That is very true.
After telling everyone, I go back to the place where I found the prince, and I'm gonna try to track them. Stealth.
Okay. Do you want to move away from the group for that?
Yeah, if they go away from the group. But I
Okay.
want to go stealth.
Okay,
Like
stealth.
that.
Give me a stealth check. Yeah, you can easily track them. You rolled well enough without having to roll a second survival check. So just give me a stealth check.
27.
Oh wow. Okay, you just disappear basically. Enter the edge of the. Do you tell your companion something before you disappear?
No.
Okay, so you're just gone. Yeah. So while you're discussing about fire or not fire, you look around and that weird human woman that was with you is gone.
Just to see if they are following.
Just a quick question: how defensible is this place? Like, if something is there like
Not
a one gate door,
per-
or is it just trees?
No, it's a clearing. It's not like there's no
Yeah.
building or anything. So enemies
Yeah.
could come from all directions.
Okay.
I suggest we build some kind of structure in the trees, and we'll see if we can get your muscular physique up it.
It's probably a bit hard to build something that strong enough to carry a Scar. He's like 400 pounds.
Yeah, nothing.
So
We're gonna need engineering tools to do
yeah,
that stuff.
exactly. Unless you have like a full day and like the proper tools, there's no chance really.
Well, we can maybe find a very thick branch and put him on it.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to sleep.
I'll
on
take
it,
my
no.
chances on the ground.
All right.
how big is the rock you said?
Yeah, there is a rock, but the rock itself is only about maybe, I don't know, 4 feet high and maybe about 2.5 feet wide or so. So it's not like a massive rock.
I know. Okay, I was just gonna see if you could like stand on top of it, maybe. If that
You
would
can.
help.
You can. You
Oh.
can stand. Certainly, you can stand on top of it if you want to.
I know, but I mean, you know what I mean.
I'll
Anyway.
motion Scar to take his resting or to sit down beneath one of the better climbable trees, and both me and the other ones will probably be able to either stay up the tree and guard you from above. So if anyone thinks you for an easy meal, we can basically be dead from above.
Okay, excellent. Sonia, you're tracking the wolves, and you track the wolves south, and you track them for about maybe a minute or so, and then you come upon a thick, sort of a few thick bushes, and you stop because right in front of you, unmoving, in a perfect line, shoulder to shoulder, stand 6 dire wolves.
Oh shit.
Good luck.
Just looking straight ahead, not at you, like looking straight ahead, unmoving, like statues.
They're not moving. I'll stay put to see what they're looking for, if they
Nothing.
make anything.
So you watch them for about a minute or so, and they don't move a muscle. The
Then
only
I-
thing that's moving is like a little bit of their fur is moving here and there when a little bit of wind like hits them.
Yeah. Then I go back silently.
Okay.
I have to roll again or use the
No,
same?
no, it's fine. You can use the same roll.
And then I'll go back near the others.
Okay, you come upon your group just as they are settling down to sleep, basically. It's twilight, so the sun has basically gone down, but there's still a little bit of light in the sky. Enough for those of you who don't have dark vision, which I think is everyone except for Whisper, to still see more or less decently.
Yeah. Then I tell them, hey, I think we have problems. I've gone like to south for 1 minute and I saw 6 direwolves there.
Yeah, it's only a couple 100 feet away.
Standing still, so they are pretty close to us.
I guess we should take a look, because it would be dangerous if they take us by surprise. Especially if we know that they're there, it would be prudent to investigate first.
But it was weird because they were just standing still looking at something. But
Did you see what they were looking at?
No, I didn't saw anything.
They basically, the closest thing they reminded you of was soldiers. Like, you know how soldiers stand next to each other, like completely staring straight ahead without moving to show discipline? That's kind of what they look like.
Just a quick question. Are direwolves, I know that, like, you know, creatures of the forest, natural and stuff, are direwolves still considered like creatures of the forest, or are they more like wargs?
No, direwolves are natural. Wargs are also natural. They're both beasts. They are natural animals. They're just larger versions of wolves, basically.
Okay.
I
So
guess
not like not inherently evil or anything then.
No. Well, I mean, no. Wargs actually are inherently evil.
Yeah.
Direwolves, not necessarily. No.
They're just predators.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we should try, especially with the ranger roguish types among us, maybe play Overwatch and let Scar advance, and we'll just we can have Crux up in the sky, and me and Sonia on the flanks, basically hiding out to see what happens.
Okay, so you want to move towards the direwolves?
Yeah, sword and shield drawn. I'm gonna head over towards where they are.
Okay, so do you even make an attempt at stealth, Scar?
I can, but it's at -1 with disadvantage. So let's see what we get.
Excellent. Okay, so you all trying to stealth, I assume. So give me stealth checks, everyone.
Got an 8.
Okay, so much for stealth.
19.
I
I got a 19 as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. So 19, and 16 for Travis?
Yes.
Okay. So, the three of you are more or less undetected, but Scar is just like...
Yeah.
You know the scene from Jurassic Park when the T-Rex is approaching? That's kind of...
Do you see the puddles?
Yeah, exactly. You can just sort of see like everything shaking as he just breaks on like, I'm being stealthy. Crush.
The one younger wolf is pointing to the puddle to the older to his sister. He's like,
yeah. And I am
I'm so scared, Daddy.
Yeah. I'm assuming that
definitely be ahead of them.
Yeah, so the three of you are sort of can already see the direwolves, and Scar cannot yet, but you can all hear Scar coming. He'll be there in like a couple seconds, and you can all see the direwolves shifting, and it's like in a completely uniform movement. They all shift and look at the direction Scar's coming from, and they immediately.
We get there.
You can, yeah. And they immediately split up in three pairs. 2 of them remain standing, 2 of them walk over to the left, 2 of them walk over to the right. And they start now, all of a sudden, they start moving naturally. So they're stealthing themselves. They stopped just standing there still like statues in an unnatural way. So basically, both Sonia and Whisper, you can both see sort of 2 direwolves coming your way. They haven't noticed you, but because they're also flanking, yeah, exactly. They're basically going your way. Okay. And
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
All right.
Okay, which means that they need to make a Wisdom saving throw to be able to attack me, or they have to choose another target.
Yeah, as long as you don't attack yourself. Is that right, I think?
Let me see.
I think that's how it works.
He's not allowed to attack.
Yeah, otherwise the spell
I
is
think,
essential.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm just loading the spell right now. For some reason, my internet doesn't want to work. Doesn't like that spell. Come on. Ward a creature, blah, blah, blah. Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack must fail a wisdom save. Failed save the spell. If the warded creature makes an attack or casts a spell that affects an enemy creature, this spell ends.
Yeah. That's okay, though. If they get the drop on me, they're, only some of them will be able to actually attack me, which is good.
Right.
And if they don't, they'll be fighting each other.
We will start now. In initiative, Whisper, you're up. We got 21 initiative.
Whisper will have his short out already. Basically, he will try and remain hidden, and I will he's delaying until something will try and attack our Dragonborn, our Scar, and when that happens, I'll move in from behind and basically surprise them and set up a flank between me and Scar.
All right. So you're delaying your action, basically. Okay, Sonia, you're next.
I'm gonna try to climb a tree and hide up there.
Okay, give me a athletics check and a stealth check.
Athletics. Oh shit. 11.
Okay, yeah, it's a tree. It's a DC 10, so you can still make it up there. Not very high, but you're like maybe, I don't know, say 10 feet up or so.
Outside bite range.
I didn't check this out, but I have like +1 of athletics.
Well,
Minus
not
I think
that great of
acrobatics will
climbing.
get you up there too, won't it?
Not really. Climbing is athletics. Unless you're doing like parkour shit, which doesn't really work on trees, then you can roll acrobatics. But athletics is generally climbing. Anyway, a stealth check as well, please.
26.
Okay, yeah, you're gone. You're just like up there, and you turn into like a leaf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman.
Checks.
All right. So, and also, you said there was 2 groups of 2, each going in the general direction of Sonya and Whisper.
Yeah. There's 3 groups of 2 all in all. 2 of them are standing in the middle, and 2 on each flank, basically trying to get into flanking position. One Scar steps out of the forest so that he can jump him from all sides, basically.
Okay. Well, are there clouds in the sky right now, or is it a clear sky? What's up with that?
It is cloudy,
That's also
a little bit, but it's not like full-on storm or anything like that.
Okay. Well, if they were to look up at any point, which I don't think they would, but if they were, they would see like the clouds start to get funneling down a little bit more, a little bit closer to the ground.
All right.
As I cast Call Lightning, and can I like ready the action more or less to where the lightning doesn't happen until my next turn, to where I can do like 2 strikes with that since it'll take. I want me to just do it right now.
Technically, no, because Call Lightning is a bonus action, and you only have 1 bonus action per turn.
Right.
So you can do one lightning if you want.
You could delay it until the end of the round.
No, you can't. You
Like
can only
ready to
delay.
action?
You cannot delay bonus actions. You can only delay actions. So a bonus actions.
No, Call Lightning's an action.
Yeah.
Call Lightning's not a bonus action; it's an action.
Casting it is an action, but having the lightning strike down is a bonus action. So you can cast it on your turn, and then have the bonus action immediately or next turn.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bonus
actual-
action. It says when you cast the spell, choose the point you can see, and then the ball of lightning thing. And then it says for every turn after that, I can use my action for that as well.
Oh, it's an action. Okay. Okay, I thought it was a bonus.
Yes, it is.
Okay, then one of my druid players played it wrongly. Doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, sure. Then you can delay, certainly. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Lightning. Yeah, so you just delay your action, and then whenever you want to do it.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and make it to where once they get within about, let's say, 30 or 20 feet or so, I'm going to hit the biggest group of them, which would probably be just two of them.
Yeah, so which one of the three groups do you want to aim at? The central one, the left one that's moving towards Whisper, or the right one that's moving towards Sonya?
Whichever one gets closer to one of my companions first. Like, they get within 10 feet of one of my companions,
They're
it's going to
moving pretty much at equal speed, so they would be at the same, pretty much.
In that case, just for the heck of it, the right side.
So Sonya's, all right? Okay, that was
Sure.
Checks. Now, the direwolves now. They are still moving into position and sort of crouching down and hiding more or less, to making ready to attack Scar as soon as he exits sort of the forest. But he's not up yet. Now, let me see. Okay, so Whisper, you catch movement out of the corner of your eye. You look up and you can see to your right a face coming out of a tree. A female face, brown, made of wood, green glowing eyes, looking straight at you. And you can feel a surge of magic shining from these eyes and trying to get into you. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
A dryad, I don't know.
You are an elf, so you can. I think you have advantage on the.
Yeah, is it a charmed class or?
Yeah, it is a charm spell. Yeah.
Then I have advantage.
Okay.
So the best one is it's wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So 17 on the.
You succeed. You shake off the power of the dryad's gaze. Now, Chax, as you're floating above the whole thing, looking down, you hear a faint rustle to your left, and you can see the same thing, a dryad face floating out of a tree as if it is emerging from a tree itself, looking straight at you. Another wisdom saving throw, please. Travis, you are muted. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I just noticed that.
That's all right.
So, could I change my reaction to hit that, like, as it pops out at me, basically?
No, you have
with
not
the lightning
seen,
thing?
You have not seen it yet, no. And you're focusing on the.
Well, in that case, I got a 22 on the wisdom save.
Yeah, that's an easy save. I mean, you can change it now if you want to.
Okay.
And that's
so
the
I can hit the dryad with that instead?
Yeah, but not like in its turn. You have to wait until its turn is over, and then you can do it.
Okay, in that case, yes, I would definitely do that. Whenever that happens, go ahead and make a throw.
Okay, that is a dexterity, yeah? Okay, and that is a natural 20. So the dryad shifts back into the tree, basically. Still takes a little bit of damage, I believe.
Yes, it does.
That would be 3d10 half, basically.
Yes, it will.
As a lightning bolt just hits the tree.
Yeah, that's half of 23, so that
is
11 damage.
11, yeah. Okay.
So this lightning bolt just shoots out of the thundercloud, nails into this tree, and you might hear some sort of noise from the dryad.
Yeah, you hear like ah sound as the tree is basically scorched. Okay, that was your reaction. Whisper, do you want to take a reaction? Because you also delayed your action. Okay.
Yeah, seeing as it's coming from the tree, I'll just it starts to try and invade my mind, and I'll in Sylvan talk back to it. I am one of the elves. You will not easily penetrate my mind, but I can easily penetrate your flesh, and you'll see me. You see a silver longsword just. Try and stab it. Try to stab into the tree where it's in.
So the dryad came up about 15 feet above ground,
I'll try and jump it if that's allowed.
Yep, you can do that. Give me a acrobatics check. As you just try to basically run up the tree trunk. How much is that?
That would be Dex, so +4. So
17. All right.
17.
Yeah. So you run up the tree trunk, swing, and basically fall back down again. You can do an attack, yeah. But you just hit the tree as the dryad just disappears back, and you just hit.
That's the damage. It's 7 damage.
Oh, you're
It's
right.
28 to hit. It's
you're
critical,
right.
so it's actually
okay.
more damage, right?
Yeah. You roll another d6.
Another d6?
Yes.
So 13 total.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, sorry, I thought you rolled the natural 1 on the attack.
No.
Okay, so before the dryad can shift back into the tree, you jump up and pierce it with your longsword, and you can see pain on its face. And it starts to shift back into the tree. Scar, your turn now. You are muted.
Scar is going to charge at one of the front wolves.
Okay.
Are they coming at me in a line, or
No, two direwolves, shoulder to shoulder, are standing basically right in front of you, like 10 feet in front of you as you come out of the forest.
Okay. And is there any dire wolves next to Whisper?
You cannot see any other direwolves. The other 4 have hidden. So the only 2 you can see are the ones in
jump
front of
into
you.
the fray then against these guys.
All right.
Go in, and I'll make an attack action.
Yep.
And as part of my attack action, I'll make a bonus action to try and shove one of them to the ground with my shield.
The same one or the other one? Oh, so yeah, the same one, obviously. Yeah.
The same one, yeah.
Okay. You have two attacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, the shield mastery allows me to make a shove as a bonus action.
I know, yeah.
So
I'm just saying.
So yeah.
So you can be 2 attacks and the shove.
And it's how does shove? It's a strength saving throw, I think, or something, or a dexterity. I'm trying to see if they have to make a.
So you're shoving him first and then striking him?
Yeah, because I want to try and knock him down.
All right.
I can either move him or knock him prone, and I want to try and knock him prone.
I have a 15, which is probably a success.
Yeah, I think it's probably.
I think it's like 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, that would be like 14.
Oh, okay. No, I need to make an athletics check contested by his athletics check.
Okay, so yeah, then I have a 15 on athletics anyway.
Roll 20 plus. You got a 17.
You do beat him,
Nice.
so you tackle the first wolf.
Yeah, so I knock him down, and then I'm going to attack him twice. So that's
With
roll
advantage. Yep.
20, oh wait.
That wolf doesn't look too happy. I get the feeling.
Dude, that's great.
Okay, so I got a crit.
Wow.
Nice.
Roll
So
one
my first
more,
one crit. So
one more d8.
So for another 5 damage, so
16.
11. 16.
Not bad.
Okay.
You attack the largest of the direwolves, the alpha of the pack.
Yeah.
Push it down and stab into it with your longsword. Second
Okay.
attack.
Second attack is a 24 to hit and 12 more damage.
Wow. Okay. It is not looking good at all. It is
Can I
on
use
the
my
ground,
smite
bleeding heavily.
on that?
Yeah, you can. Is that a bonus action to cast though?
I don't think so. You just add it to your attack.
I'm 90% sure that it's a bonus action to cast.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
What is your
So
smite
when
level?
you attack, where is it here?
Like, what is it a spell
What's
or is
my-
it your ability?
When you hit a creature with a melee weapon, you can expend one paladin spell slot to deal radiant damage
Oh, okay.
to the
Right.
target in addition to the
Okay,
weapon's normal
yep.
damage.
Then go ahead. Go ahead.
So an extra 2d8. 2d8. An extra 10 damage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you obliterate him. Like you push him down, stab it once, and then sunlight gleams on your blade, and you stab him twice, and the wolf just
Nice.
instant dead.
Okay.
All right.
Stand up.
So much
Glare
for
at
pack.
the other wolf.
All right. So much for the pack leader. That was Scar's turn. Now, Whisper, you're up.
Is the dryad still strikeable for me, or is it completely back into the tree?
It is still strikeable.
Okay, I'll try and hit it again, I guess.
Okay.
So
So that's the same thing again. Dexterity check and an attack, basically.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's only a 7 total.
This time you don't manage to reach it. You try to jump up, but you slide back down.
In that case, as my attack action, can I just throw my sword?
Yeah. Longsword. I mean, you can throw
Short
your
sword.
short. Yeah, you can throw your short sword. Yeah, that's right.
I think it would count as an improvised weapon, but I mean, however you want to rule
You're
that.
not.
It's okay. Just roll the normal attack, basically. Yeah,
19
That's
and
a
12
hit.
more damage, and you see this silver sword sticking in the tree. And then I guess as my bonus action, I'll just draw the holy weapon of my cousin.
The short sword hits the dryad straight in the face, embeds itself there, and all of a sudden the dryad falls out of the tree, falls down and hits the ground, unmoving. Short sword still embedded straight into its face, like its forehead.
When that happens, I'll scream out to the rest of the group. There's dryads in the trees. Beware. They will take over your mind if you let them.
All right. Now we have Sonia.
Which wolves can I see?
You can see you can see 4 wolves. 2 of them that are close to you, and actually, sorry, 3. One of them's dead. One of them's basically facing Scar, and 2 of them are sort of close to you, maybe about 10 feet, and below you, obviously, and 10 feet away.
Yeah, I have a question. Because for me to use the assassinate, I have to surprise them. Since they are already
No, you get a, if you surprise someone, it is actually a sneak attack. No, you cannot surprise them anymore. Combat has started. So
Yeah,
basically,
that was
you get a sneak attack, but you wouldn't get assassinate.
Yeah. Then I'm going to attack the other wolf near Scar.
Okay. What are you using? A longbow, right? Or something like that? Okay.
With the sharpshooter.
Okay. Go ahead.
Uh, 19.
19 is a hit.
Then it's
A shit ton of damage, probably.
6 and 2d8. plus
What
15.
2d?
No, 2d6 plus 1d8 plus 15. Yeah.
All right. How much is it?
How much is it?
31.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Alex, you remember last week.
you hit the wolf straight in the neck, and it stumbles and nearly falls. Can just barely hold itself up. It's like the arrow is sticking from its neck, and it's heavily wounded.
Yeah.
That's
I can
crazy.
still hide.
And the two wolves that are below your tree look up as this arrow comes streaking out and look at you, basically.
So I can't hide.
Not really, no.
I'm just gonna stay up in the tree.
Okay. That was Sonia's turn. Chax.
All right. By the way, quick question with the dryads. Would I know, is it still in that tree it went back into, or does it teleport between trees? I don't remember that.
It can teleport between trees, but it has not done so yet. So it's still in the same tree.
Okay, so wait, I can still see. I can see it more or less.
More or less. Yeah, you can sort of see like a shape floating through the tree.
Okay, in that case, well, actually no. I'm gonna fly away from it so it's not next to me.
All right.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my action to call down lightning upon those 2 wolves in front of Sonya, so I'm gonna need two dexterity saving throws.
That is another natural 20 and a 17, so they both pass. Those wolves are really fast,
Lovely.
but still damage.
I guess, man. Yeah, I'm rolling good damage at least. Alright, so that's 21, so each of them take 10 damage.
Alright, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, the wolves
As
both
lightning
jump
hits
to
them,
the
but they
side.
only take 10.
Yeah, they manage to jump to the side, but they're both slightly singed from the lightning. Okay, that was...
Oh, also, they're
Yep.
pushed 10 feet back
Okay, so
because
they
of one of my
flung-
abilities. I totally
yeah,
forgot
so-
about that.
Yeah, they're flung away, basically, and both, flung into the tree lines to both sides. Okay, now the dire wolves, those two dire wolves that were hit by lightning will try to jump up to get to Sonya, just like running up and jumping up the tree. Let me see. One of them fails, jumps up, but its teeth just snap through air and falls back down. The other one also fails. They both jump up to Sonya, but they just hit the air and land on the ground again. Now, the heavily wounded wolf will bite Scar, and that is a 17, so that's a miss. Scar, your shield is ready. The wolf just bites your shield instead. And then there is two wolves, both running at Whisper. Because you just killed a dryad, the wolves are running both at you and both like fling themselves through the air to tackle you at the same time. First one misses, you duck, it flies above your head. The second one also misses. They're very fast at dodging, but not very good at attacking. So you're just dancing between them, dodging their claws and fangs. And that is the end of their turn. Now the dryads. The one dryad that was hit by lightning will shift and appear next to Sonya, come out of the tree right next to you, and you can see one of its arms is glowing faintly with like a greenish shimmer, and it strikes you, or tries to strike you with this arm. And that is a natural 20. So you take this hit full in the face. And that will be 13 points of bludgeoning damage as it hits you full in the face. You nearly fall off the branch, but in the very last moment you manage to catch yourself. The dryad is now right next to you, like its upper body and its arms and its head sticking out of the tree. And now a third dryad will jump out of a tree and land close to Scar. And as it is landing to you, you look over to it, and it's trying to hypnotize you with the power of its gaze. Give me a wisdom save, Scar.
Dryads don't like girls.
Okay. 22.
Yeah. Yep. You just shake it off. This is nothing for your steel will.
There's nothing
And that's
but the power of Bahamut.
indeed. And that is the Dryad's turn. Scar.
Okay. Before he does anything, Scar is going to shout out, having heard the guys yell about the Dryads being here, and he's going to yell, form up on me!
All right.
And he's going to... Now, is Whisper within distance of me? Like, could I make it to him?
Yeah, you would take 2 attacks of opportunity, but you could, yeah.
From the...
From the Dryad and the heavily wounded wolf.
Okay. I thought the Dryad just popped out near me, not on me.
No, yeah, it is in close.
Oh, okay, he's on me.
It
Okay.
sort of jumped out of the tree and ran up to you, basically.
Okay. Shoot. Yeah, I can't really get over to him.
If you-
I'm
if
gonna
you
make
look
an
over
attack
Scar.
to try.
Scar, if
I'm
you
gonna
look
make-
over at Whisper, you see that he's in no way stressed out by the prospect of facing two direwolves.
I'm gonna make an attack against the wounded direwolf.
Excellent.
Okay.
Go ahead.
7. We get a 16.
Yeah, you just slash it open and only had 3 hit points left, so don't even bother rolling for
Okay, it's
damage.
done.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm gonna try and shove the Dryad to the ground with my
All right.
shield.
That is a not bad. 17.
20.
Okay, but you're stronger. You just bash her
Yeah.
in the face, and she
Boom!
falls
Push her
over.
right
Yeah.
down, and then
And
I'm gonna.
you're like probably about 5 times
That's
the
awesome.
weight of the dryad or something like that, at least,
Yep.
maybe even more.
Yep.
So it doesn't really stand that much of a chance.
Okay, and then I'm gonna make an attack against it.
Okay,
Oops, where is that here?
with advantage, of course.
Yeah, I just need the command up here.
Yep.
Nothing. There we go. Okay, so I got a 19 to hit,
That is a hit. 7
Okay.
damage. Okay.
and then I'm gonna use another smite
Okay.
on it.
All right.
Another 10 damage.
Okay. Wow, the dryad's not looking good. You basically tore open a large wound in its side,
Okay.
and you can see she has like a layer of hard wood that's all over her, like an armor. But you just broke straight through there.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna scream with a nasty dragon toothy filled saliva, just
All right.
scream down on her.
Okay. Yeah. She wide-eyed and looks quite afraid. And that was Scar's turn. We are up to Whisper again. You are now flanked by 2 dire wolves. I'm not using the flanking rules, by the way, just so you know. But
No, but that's fine because you see Whisper looking into himself, and all of a sudden he seems almost unnaturally quick, and the wolves have no way to. He walks away, and the wolves are just snapping at him, and for some reason they can't seem to connect. I'll use a key point to do the disengage action, so I don't provoke any attacks for opportunity.
excellent. Yes.
And I will walk my 45 feet over to the already wounded dryad.
Okay.
And smack her with the weapon of my family.
With advantage.
Oh wow, cool, thanks.
It's
Yeah,
it's
she's knocked on the ground.
Oh wow,
She's
yeah,
prone.
sure. So the highest is 20. I guess that's a hit.
Yep.
So that's 12, and she's already wounded. So my
Yeah.
colossal slayer takes effect.
She's dead.
15
Nice.
furious elf damage.
Smashy, smashy.
Yeah, you just stab down on her or slash down on her, and she just stops moving. Ah! And,
And I'll at that point I'll look up to the rest of the party and tell them, let's take care of the dryads first. Maybe we can spare the wolves.
All right. Speaking of dryads, Sonia, there is one right next to you and hit you straight in the face last turn. It is your turn now.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna shoot an arrow at her. I think I don't have any disadvantage because of the sharpshooter.
No, I'm pretty sure that sharpshooter doesn't give you that.
Crossbow expert gives you that.
Yeah, there is a-
Shooter makes you ignore 3/4 and half cover.
Yeah, so you still have disadvantage because she's in melee range with you.
Okay. Then I guess I have to jump out of the tree and go near the rest of the guys.
So
With the
are you taking a disengage action?
Yeah.
Okay, so you-
Disengage, and I can use like a bonus action again the disengage.
Yeah.
On that, so
Yeah, I know. So you jump down and just sort of run past the wolves and run up to where Scar and Whisper are standing.
Yeah.
All right, and that's your. No, actually, you can still make an attack if you want.
I can. Oh, then
Yes,
I'm going to
Sure,
attack.
because disengage is a bonus action for you, and you don't need to dash. It's not that far. You can get there with your normal speed.
Okay, then I'm going to attack the dryad.
Okay.
Using the sharpshooter again.
Yeah.
Was that the dryad that was harmed by the electricity?
Yes. That is
Then
the
I can
last
use
dryad alive.
Then I can use the Slayer, Colossus Slayer.
You can, yes. I wouldn't call her a colossus, but you can use it. Yeah.
11, 16.
16? Yeah, that is exactly their armor class. So you do hit, just barely, but still.
4, 8.
Is that with sharpshooter?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, don't even bother rolling. It's dead.
Yeah, I was about to say there's so much damage.
Yeah, that's like 20 damage minimum or something like that. So and only had 12 hit points. So yeah, you just hit it in the chest, and the dryad again just and falls out of the tree and lands on the ground.
Wouldn't it just be pinned into the tree by the arrow?
Yeah, you're right. That's probably you're actually right. That's probably more likely to happen. Checks.
All right. From where I'm at, what do I see? Like, I know they're all in a group right now.
There is there's 2 wolves to your left and 2 wolves to your right. The 2 wolves to your right are slightly singed, and all 3 of your companions are pretty much in the middle of that little clearing, right below, underneath you, basically.
Okay. And the 2 wolves to my right that I already hit with lightning are spread apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and aim at the other 2.
They are actually next to each other. You could both get both of them. They move sort of towards each other again.
They move back?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, yeah, sure, I'm gonna go for the singed ones. And you guys are still just seeing me point fingers and just calling out lightning, hitting things, and yeah, dex saving throw.
One of them succeeds, the other fails.
Okay. The one time I do crap damage. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and use my channel divinity to do max damage, and that's 30 for the failure, and 15 for the success.
You're a Tempest Cleric? Okay.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, so one of them
both
is
of them are pushed 10 feet away.
Yeah, so one of them is just instantly obliterated. How much damage did you say? 30?
30.
Okay, and the other one's still standing.
Or actually,
not looking too
you said it was cloudy? You said it was cloudy already?
Yeah, but not enough to give you the
that would be
damage.
40.
No, you only get the 40-10 if it's like an actual storm already there, and you can use like lightning that's already in the air.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
Okay, and on the wolf's turn, all 3 of the remaining wolves scatter and run away. And they just disappear into the brush. You can see like all of a sudden they seem afraid and they just run and they're gone. They have far too much movement speed for you to keep up, except for maybe checks if you want to.
Whisper would probably be able to run with the wolves.
Oh yeah, you're right. You have 45, right? Yeah.
But I'll look towards the party and I'll say, like I predicted, without the influence of the dryads, the wolves are just natural creatures, and they wouldn't attack a party as strong as ours without any other incentives. I'm glad we were able to save some lives within the forest.
Yeah, they have 50 feet speed, but you could barely keep up. But
Yeah.
no, they're gone anyway.
I could probably dash once to move like 90.
Yeah, well, they're dashing as well. So they
Yeah,
have
but an extra dash with the key.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you could do that. That's right. Okay, so the wolves are gone, and quiet settles onto the forest again.
I will try and retrieve, so you see me jumping next to a tree for some time until I finally reach my other sword and like rip it out of the tree.
Scar would come over and help him as he's jumping. He'd just kind of grab him by the waist and lift him up into the air to grab the sword.
I think you managed. Yeah, you managed after a...
While they're doing this,
Yep.
like before he gets to it, I will just fly past and grab it and then fly back down Hamilton.
Okay.
Were you looking for this?
Only for a little while.
Hey, look, guys! I found this cool sword. Think I'll keep it.
Yeah, swords are growing from trees around here.
Yeah.
I already have another sword, so it's not that big of a deal.
We've had enough things tonight growing from the trees. I think we're good. Kind of dryads.
Yeah. I guess it's worth inspecting the dryads to see if we can find any other influence or maybe something that's wrong or abnormal about them.
Okay. As far, I mean, none of you really has too much experience with dryads. But as far as you can tell, they seem normal. I mean, you don't see any like weird growths or like, I don't know, corrupting like black, I don't know, veins or whatever. They just seem normal dryads. You're not sure why they attacked you. I mean, those of you who know the forest, like Sonia and Whisper.
Sonia not Fae?
No.
Sonia not, is she not, like, is her favorite enemy not Fae?
Oh yeah, your favorite Emery, that's Fae. Yeah, that's right, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know that dryads are generally not evil. Like they attack someone who tries to damage the forest, but they wouldn't normally attack travelers. But you do know that they can control animals and also people in some ways. So those direwolves were probably under their control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as the dryads were killed, the control was broken and the direwolves ran off.
Just a side note, I'd be scanning the area in case that's important at all.
Okay.
But the elves that we find before didn't have any signs of being attacked by wolves or dryads.
I think maybe they have been attacked by something even bigger than a dryad. Maybe he's like a forest elemental type thing, something huge. I mean, if you saw the destruction they wrecked on the applied to
Yeah,
the village, they
possible.
uprooted a tree. I mean, that takes some very serious power.
Yeah. Yeah. Dryads are probably not. I mean, they're not very physically strong.
Yeah. Scar's gonna look at the group and just be like, I don't know, those dryads just grew out of a tree. What if the tree didn't get uprooted? What if it uprooted itself?
Yeah, maybe there's some kind of magic the forest can. Maybe the trees can walk. Who knows? I mean, there's stranger things in this world.
While they're talking and stuff and I'm scanning around, I'd also be, like, as the ritual casting detect magic. So if 10 minutes would have passed during all this, I'd just be looking around. If I see any magic, let me know, please.
Okay. There is a perpetual aura of magic, very faint, around everything. It is not actually a spell being cast, but it looks like this influence, whatever it is definitely something quite strong and quite magical.
All right.
And you can sense it especially strongly around the bodies of the dead dryads.
Okay. And also, I'd probably go down to Sonya, seeing the huge scars on her face, and I just remembered this. And I'd hand her a healing potion and say, "This will help the wound you just got."
Yeah, it's like a swollen cheek, basically, where the dryad hit her.
Oh, we have injured party members. Okay.
Yep.
I'll tell you guys to save your potion, and I'll come up and I'll lay on hands, her cheek, and so that's, I think she took 13 damage.
Yeah.
Like something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was 13.
13 damage. So I'll lay on hands that for. Do I have to do it's? I know it's increments of 5 for the poison and disease and stuff, but do I have to?
No, you don't have to do it.
No.
You don't have to do like 15 or something. No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not like in packages of 5. You can.
Okay.
So you
So I'll
could,
just do
in a
minus-
weirdly tender gesture for such a massive creature, Scar strokes over the swollen cheek of Sonya, and the swelling goes away, and the pain is gone in an instant.
Oh, thank you, Scar. Such a big man with such a tender heart.
And in the background you hear, and they called it puppy love.
She's not my type, Whisper. She doesn't have enough scales. Human
I don't want to be tear apart.
flesh.
And after inspecting all the aftermath of the battle, you see Whisper gather up some firewood and burn the corpses of the wolves, as
All right.
there's no point in leaving them out, as the only people around are tainted
Isn't
as
that
well.
food?
So
The stench of burning
Garwood.
fur and burning meat is disgusting as it fills the air.
Scar would almost be confused for a moment, and as he starts building his little fire and starts getting the stuff ready, Scar comes over and he starts rummaging through his pack, and he pulls out his plate and his little knife and fork, and he's just kind of waiting for dinner to be ready. And he sees you burning the whole. I'm like,
You do, yeah. You're like, why did you leave the fur on? That's
Why did we,
weird.
that you?
And when I see him looking at me all hungrily, you see me reaching into my pocket while uttering a few words, and you see these berries come out again. And I'll put this single berry on his plate. That's enough for you, big guy.
And if you're hungry, you still have the dryad. You said you would burn the wolves, not the dryad.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if we want to corrupt our own dragonborn. I think that would lead to some very serious problems.
Yeah.
What color are you again? What dragonborn color are you?
Blue dragon.
Oh, nice. Okay. So a chromatic dragonborn.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Fighting his nature.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. That's interesting. Okay, so you want to return into the small grove, or do you want to camp here?
Better
We'd
go
like to
back
return.
where
I'm going to return to the grove. I'm definitely more comfortable on holy ground than
All right.
over here. With
Is
the
what
stinky
they're
wolves.
guarding obvious?
Sorry?
Is what they're guarding obvious? Because you said they were all standing in a militant-like fashion in one spot. Is there something behind that they were, like,
No, not that you can
guarding
see.
or something?
No, not that you can see.
Most likely, you couldn't see the dryad that was commanding them.
Hmm.
So they were probably looking at the dryad, and you were probably looking at them and looking over and being like, "There's nothing there," because the dryad can just hide in the tree, right?
Probably.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Okay, so you you go back. You have a long rest in the grove. Your night is the night is very quiet. There's basically no noise at all around you, and you can have a long rest. You can fill up all your spell slots and whatnot, and regenerate all your health if you need any. Although I don't think anyone was actually hurt during that whole thing, and not anymore. And we'll have a quick 2 or 3 minute break, so everyone can go to the bathroom and get some water and whatnot. And we will be back and approaching the finale of the adventure. So see you soon.
See you.
Welcome back to the Thunderdome.
Welcome back. Yeah. So
Man, this is so crazy. I really like the atmosphere of the like green fog everywhere. It's like really creepy.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys want, I kind of built my character to be like not the tank, but to be like, I got the protection fighting style. So if you're next to me while we're fighting, I can use my reaction to give something
Yeah, disadvantage, right?
disadvantage on its attack rolls against you guys.
Or don't forget, it's only one attack. It's only the first one.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so everyone
pretty
back.
good. Yeah.
Ruben,
I
you're
love
back?
the music, man.
Yeah,
The music is so creepy.
See, it's totally worth playing in Roll20
Well,
to
yeah,
get the
Not
music for
necessarily
that.
the
and-
music for the whole game, but the fight music was awesome.
Yeah.
Because they're just thinking like, dude, like a horde of wolves, and then just like, dun.
Yeah, that was pretty wicked. I guess
All right.
we'll just have to wait to see if Ruben's back or not.
Yep. Okay, so you're having fun so far. Good, good to hear.
Yeah, it's really. I love the setting, man. It's so cool.
That
I've never
picture
played
you
Aarakocra
made,
before.
You ain't
With
seen
the-
nothing yet.
Was awesome.
Yeah, I was just.
Did you guys take a look at that?
Sorry?
Yeah, the
Did you guys
fog.
take a look at the Whisper? Whisper linked a picture.
Alex, I put it in your Facebook chat. You can see if maybe you can put it up because it's super accurate what you just described. I was like, wow, this is it.
Where? What? Where? What?
In your Facebook chat, just check it.
In a message, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should have it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, you're
This
right.
is the first.
It is that's really fitting. Wow. Well, it's a bit. I mean, it's not 100% fitting because the trees should be way closer together and there should be like a lot of brush and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks that the green tinge is perfect. That's
Yeah,
exactly
I was just looking at something that came close to what you were describing. I saw this. I linked it. I think I linked it just before you dropped out.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is so perfect.
Yeah, I will link that after we finish playing in the YouTube video below, so you guys can check this out. It looks very fitting. All right, Ruben, you still with us? Are you with us or still gone? Okay, well, anyway, we'll just start and he'll drop by, I'm sure, eventually. So you have a full night's rest.
I
Sorry,
said
what?
his overlay picture always gets to me because I'm trying to remember that he's like a woman, you know, a small woman, and then I
frail,
see this
little, like,
giant,
assassin
enormous, like
Yeah.
barbarian with a axe, and I hear his voice, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just waiting for that point where he goes like, "Come with me if you want to live."
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chop. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
So
The classes, they do nothing.
you continue through the forest. That's all right. You continue through the forest, drawing closer and closer to its heart. As you continue onward, you can see the brush, the thorn bushes, the vines get thicker and thicker, denser and denser. It's more and more difficult for you to find your way through. Luckily, you have two very experienced rangers with you, so they can always find some way. But this is definitely not natural at all. Like the amount of plants that live here, they should choke the life from each other. This is basically impossible. Both Whisper and Sonia would be sure of that. Whatever, like there's some sort of magic at work here, definitely some strong magical influence. And you walk for a few hours. The only sound you can hear around you is a little bit of wind blowing through the trees. That is all. You should be able to hear wind. I mean, I can turn it up a bit if you want, but you can turn your own volume up.
I already maxed it, but apparently it's really low once you link it through the Google Hangout.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, you continue onwards. The fog is also getting thicker and thicker here. Those places where the fog is not there or very little there are getting fewer and fewer. You can find fewer and fewer of them. And you walk for a few hours, and then you get to a large wall. Not a wall made of stone. It is a wall made of thorns. A massive, maybe 20-foot high wall. It's not perfect, but there is very little holes to get through. Unless you're like a small animal, there is very little chance to get through that wall of vines and thorns. And they're blackish and green, and the fog around them seems to be stronger. And you're looking up at it and standing there.
Is there any chance I could go over it?
Yeah, you can go over it. That's easy. Easy enough. It is only about maybe 10 feet thick or so. And but you can see the wall is, weirdly enough, it only seems about maybe, 200 or 300 feet long. Sort of coming out of the ground and then going back into the ground. But it seems to be blocking the path that you're taking. as if someone saw you and put that wall there on short notice.
Scar is gonna pull out his sword and try and hack a piece out of the thorns.
As you approach, the vines start moving and shifting. You stop, and for a moment you think, "Oh shit, they're coming for me." But then the wall actually opens up, nearly like a door swinging inward, and there is a pathway leading through. All of a sudden.
Okay. I'm gonna look at the other two rangers and be like, I guess we don't even need to knock.
I guess they were expecting us.
And I'll walk through.
Okay. Sonia, as you're walking through, you spot something. You look up and you can see a crow sitting on a vine that was part of the wall, and the crow is looking straight at you. Like, as you walk past, it is tracking you with its gaze. And you know how crows have to look sort of sideways to see you because their eyes are on the sides of their head? It's sort of moving its head. And one eye fixed on you all the time.
I tell to the others, we're being watched. And kind of try to point at the crow without
pointing at it.
Yeah, you're like
Exactly.
it's there.
Yeah. Look at that crow.
Yeah.
What is the pathway like? Is it just regular forest again, or are we in like a tunnel of thorns?
No, it's not a tunnel. It's a regular forest. The wall of thorns is only about 10 feet wide.
And it split open at the moment that Scar advanced towards it.
Yes.
Interesting.
When we pass through, it keeps the passage open?
Yes.
I guess the only thing we can do is go forward, I say as I beat my wings and go up and then fly above them.
As you fly up over the canopy, you can see in the distance now, not quite concealed by the mist, is a large, very large, old-looking tree. It's only about maybe a couple hundred yards away from you, and it seems to be rising above the forest a little bit, as if it was standing on like a small hill or something.
I yell back down, I think I see the heart of the forest you guys were talking about earlier.
Then let us go.
I guess we should take up our marching order again. I will try and advance stealthily, as there's plenty of opportunity to keep hidden. So
Right.
I'll just, if you have the path the group is taking, I'll just be slightly off it, like basically walking at the parallel trajectory.
Okay.
Just slightly out of their main path.
Okay.
I'll take the other side of the path.
Okay.
The same way, stealth.
So basically we're playing bait with Scar again while we're on the side.
Okay.
He's our tank, so.
And I'm in the air.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. As you are moving through and approaching what looks this large tree, you again get the feeling that you're being watched. And then as you look around, you can see squirrels, small birds, a marten sitting on a tree branch, and they're all looking straight at you, like following you with their gazes as you're passing through in a very unnatural manner.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on them as I fly.
Oh yeah, there is magic around them. But there's magic everywhere here. There's basically tendrils
Could I
of
have
magic
like sort of
that are moving away from the animals into the direction that you're going.
Okay.
So you walk for about maybe 5-10 minutes or so, and then you can see those thorny bushes. There's no, like, they just disappear. Like from one moment to the next, there is no thorny bushes around you anymore. The forest here looks untouched. There's a few vines here and there, but that's it.
Is there still fog though?
Yes.
Okay, so because then that way I can still remain hidden using my Mask of the Wild thing.
You see now ahead of you the forest ends, and you can see a little bit of sunlight shimmering on a large lake.
Is the lake clean? Does it look like that kind of poisonous
The lake,
water that everyone keeps
well,
avoiding?
the lake is not muddy. Other than that, you cannot really say. It is, you basically, as you step out, you can see a very large ancient oak tree with roots that's standing on top of a small hill, the roots going like all the way through the hill, coming out on the sides. And the tree itself rises high up into the sky with a massive crown reaching out to all sides. And the lake itself is basically a mirror reflecting the tree and the hill. It is completely
With
still.
my detect magic up, can I see the pond?
There is magic everywhere here. It is you can see two energies that are sort of intertwined with each other. One of them seems natural, the other one seems very unnatural. The pond itself is filled with magic. In fact, you can see tendrils of magic reaching into the pond, going under the water.
I'm gonna use my my divine sense ability to see if there's anything celestial, undead, or fiend here. So you'd see, kind of, I'd start to pray, and then I'd open up my eyes, and they would almost glow like a platinum white. And I just kind of look around, and it'll tell me if there's anything celestial, undead, or fiend within 60 feet of me.
No.
Okay. And I'm going to tell the guys, there's nothing otherworldly here.
As you do that,
but
you
be
can
careful.
See a small otter jumping out of the water, only about maybe, I don't know, 20 feet away from you. And it sort of shakes it off, looks straight at you, and then looks at the lake. Looks at you, looks at the lake, looks at you again. The little snout pointing at you.
Okay. I'm going to walk over to the otter.
Okay.
Kind of slowly, come up to him, hand out like you would to like a dog you're not sure of, just kind of like let him kind of smell my scent.
Yeah, it doesn't react at all to you, and basically just looking at you, and then it points back at the lake with its head again, looks at you, and then jumps into the water, swims for a bit, and then turns around and looks at you.
Well, I think it wants us to follow it, or look and investigate the lake or something.
It looks at you,
Kinda.
Looks down, looks at you, looks down, looks at you, and then dives under, and it's gone.
Okay. Well, that was weird.
Flying above the lake, could I see, like, into it, maybe?
Give me a perception check.
Yes, sir.
As you're trying to pierce the reflecting surface of the lake.
That's a 14.
Okay. You're not sure, but there is something weird. It's like where the otter dove down, the lake seems a bit darker.
I'd fly down next to my companions and go, the spot where the otter just went down looks strange, almost black.
Well, that would signify that it's probably deeper water. Normally.
Do you think maybe there's a tunnel?
Maybe it's some kind of underground burrow or something. I don't know. Can we maybe recall if there's anything, or maybe Whisper can recall if he knows anything about anything like that within this vicinity, or if that's a natural.
You would not know. You wouldn't know anything about this.
Do otters make like underwater burrows like that, or like
No.
like I know beavers have underwater entrances to their dams?
No,
But-
otters. I don't think otters do that.
Actually, they do normally.
They do? Okay.
For purposes of this adventure, the dungeon master is saying that this is not
It's a different. It's a side species. It's otter plus plus.
The blotch that you could see was much larger than an otter. Let's put it that way.
Ah, okay.
It wasn't just like that very spot. It was like the area. The whole area is darker. Like maybe I don't know, 10 feet diameter or something like that.
How far are we from the lake at this point?
Well, you're just standing at the edge of the forest, so you're about maybe, I don't know, 30 feet away, whereas Scar has approached and he's like at the very edge.
What you see happening is you don't hear anything, but the people that are at the water will notice in the peripheral vision. All of a sudden, you see this blur, and you see a red-haired, like Speedy Gonzales taking a running start and just, and I'll just take like the most elegant dive ever into the water.
Okay. And are you diving immediately?
No, if that depends on how far I get into the water, how steep the angle will be, I guess.
Okay.
I won't pile drive.
You can dive down if you want.
Okay.
The lake seems at least about 12 to 15 feet deep.
Okay, well in that case I will just take a running start, leap out a little bit, and then go down into the water as much as I can.
All right. You swim down, and immediately the water is extremely clear. You can see nearly as if you were above water. And immediately you can see a large tunnel entrance leading underground. And you can see the otter actually swimming there at the entrance, and then as he sees you, he disappears and swims inside. The tunnel entrance is massive. It's like maybe, I don't know, 15 or so feet across.
Wow. Just a mechanical question. How does it work holding your breath in
It depends on how much constitution you have. You can hold your breath at least 1 minute, and plus for every constitution modifier that you have above 0, another minute.
Okay, well then I will be able to hold it for at least 3 minutes. So
yeah,
it's
not hard to swim there. I mean, anyone who can swim, and I assume you all would. I mean, you don't know how far the tunnel, like how deep the tunnel goes, obviously, but just getting to the tunnel takes you maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds of swimming.
I'll pop back up and tell the guys what I saw and ask them to follow me. And I'll then go back down and see if I can see where it goes.
Okay. So you just swim into the tunnel.
Yes.
You see him
Much like a bird, I'll fly up and then just shoot straight down so I can get down faster.
Like an albatross.
Like an albatross.
Like an albatross.
An albatross. Oh my goodness.
All right. So what about
Scar's gonna have to take off like his provisions and belt and stuff because he doesn't want to get all that stuff wet. He's pretty much just gonna go in with his sword and his shield and his armor.
All right. So you just sort of you just walk in, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in. The weight of my armor just keeps me down to the bottom. Yeah.
All right.
Just gonna walk in.
And Sonia.
I'll just dive.
All right, so you jump straight in. Okay,
yeah.
So the Whisper, you're swimming. You can sort of see the others behind you hitting the surface and just diving down behind you as you disappear into the tunnel. And the tunnel goes down and then curves back up again. And you come out, and you can see like a little bit of light shimmering above you, greenish light. And you want to go up?
I don't know how long I've been swimming, but I'll try.
Not very long, maybe about 30, 40 seconds.
I'll first try and get my bearings and see what I can see, like just below the water line, just so I don't want to break the surface of the water just yet. You
sort of look around, and what you can see is, I mean, it's obviously a bit weird because you're underwater still. You can see, basically, this seems to be some sort of cavern. You're not quite sure where the green light is coming from, and you can also see roots like protruding into the water partially, some of them coming out of the walls to the side and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of roots here.
So, looking at that, would it be logical to assume that I'm underneath the tree,
Very much so,
the
yes.
hard tree? I'll see, like, how big is the pool I'm in, like in the cavern? Like,
Maybe about 15 feet or so diameter.
okay. I'll just swim around slowly, so I don't don't ripple the water as much.
Okay.
And just try and see what else I can see if I just like take a short round around the pool.
Not much, really.
Okay. Then I guess I'll see if I see any tracks on the bank where the otter might have gotten out.
You can see the otter actually standing there. He's at the very edge, just outside, basically.
I'll really, really slowly break the surface of the water, just in my eyes first.
You're
like Navy SEAL style, like.
All right. Yeah. All right. You look around, and you can immediately see two things. There are several chunks of greenish crystal embedded in the walls of this cavern, and the cavern is very large. It seems to be filling up most of that hill that you saw. It's the ceiling is about maybe 25 feet or so above you, and the cavern itself is at least about 140 feet sort of wide, and it's full of roots and vines. They're everywhere. It's basically the walls themselves. You can hardly see earth. You can just see vines and roots, like holding all of this together. And in these vines and roots, you can see a few greenish crystals that glow with this greenish light. You can also see, very weirdly, you can see what looks like statues made of wood, like nearly life-sized carvings of humanoid beings, and they're just sort of in different poses. Some of them seem to hold weapons, others are like stretching and stuff. They look nearly lifelike. Whoever carved them was a master.
Maybe a weird question. Do I recognize any of them?
No, not really.
Okay, so it's not like wooden or family that turned to wood and was brought here somehow.
No, you
Peggy's not here.
Everything's possible, but you would not recognize them. They are also not all elves. Some of them are elvish, some of them are humans, some of them
there's
are.
a lot of people that disappeared, so.
Well, that's true enough.
How many statues? How many
While
statues do I
this
see?
Sorry, while this is going on,
Sorry.
Shax comes up behind you, basically. You're not too keen on water, so you're like trying to get out as fast as possible.
Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to finish talking, and I was going to say that I'd just shoot straight up out of the water and just land on the ground next to you guys. Like, I wanted to be stealthy, but boom!
Scar is
just next to
just
you.
trying his best to get through this tunnel and up out of the water, because he's not having this whole, like, let's just wait and hold our breaths, and he wants air.
Yeah. Also,
Comes
you're
out of the
wearing
water.
you're wearing heavy armor, and like I have a
I'm
massive shield.
slow.
So yeah.
I'm slow.
So you're
This
like
is not an easy process. I'm the last one to get out by far.
Yeah.
I know I meet the strength requirements
He
to
just
walk around
climbed
in
the
heavy
wall.
armor, but swimming is, I think, a different matter.
Yeah. Yeah. You grab like one of the large roots and pull yourself out.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, I look up to Cracks and go like, I didn't know they had beached whales in the forest, but apparently they exist. Looking over at Scar, just
I
go,
would just laugh and chirp a little bit.
As you're talking, you can hear a voice all of a sudden saying, "Welcome, welcome, travelers. Welcome, heroes." And you can see a face has appeared from one of the roots, a male dryad, by the looks of it, looking at you.
Scar would look
How
over
big is this
and
room?
Does it seem friendly?
pull out his sword and shield. He's like
it
ready.
doesn't.
He
Yeah.
knows.
It doesn't seem to be attacking you, at least.
It's
Just
not.
looks at you with a neutral expression, basically.
It's not trying to like take over my prized possession, namely my brain?
Nope.
Okay.
Scar's gonna position himself with the group so that they're all affected by his.
What the hell?
I guess he got called. That was very well timed, though.
Phone call. One
I
second,
thought
guys.
you were playing music.
All right.
Like, totally not auspicious at all. I was like, "Doo-doo."
Yeah.
I guess if I notice that we're totally like, there's no stealthing around anyway, because my compatriots have like acted like they were in the local pub. In ways of sound level, I slowly walk up out of the water and approach the face and.
Okay. As you do so, the dryad steps forward and steps out of the root, and you can see it's a male dryad, as dryads have, very long green hair falling back onto its shoulders, and it's not clothed as dryads are not, but it holds a long staff. And you can see this staff is quite heavily modified. It's basically, there's wood carvings made in an amazing detail. And Whisper, you would swear that this is the work of Leith. If you wouldn't know it better, you would be swearing that this stuff has been carved by the elder of the elves. And in the way that this dryad is holding the staff, it looks nearly like it's some sort of ceremonial position, that the dryad is just standing there with his staff out, and it gives you a nod and says again, "Welcome, travelers. You have traveled far."
How big is this room again?
It's rather big. It's about 40 feet high, and it's about 130-ish feet wide, or like long.
Okay.
I'll walk up to it and like noticeably inspecting the staff and going like, the craftsmanship of this particular item reminds me of one of my distant kin, by the name of Leith. Are you familiar with him by any chance?
Yes, he is our guest.
What do you mean guest? I came from his village, and it seemed like it was destroyed in the most violent manner.
They opposed the master and had to be punished for it.
In what way were they opposing him? Because as a wood elf, I can hardly imagine them doing anything that would offend.
They refused. They refused to bend the knee when the master demanded it.
To whom?
Who's the master?
The master expects you. He sent me to greet you. Please follow me. And he turns around and starts walking off.
And while he's doing that, I'll call out after him, like, what are these green stones?
Ruben, so Sonia has obviously surfaced in the meantime, and I was just assuming that you're sort of in the background somewhere.
Yeah, I figured that.
You're of course there, yeah. So
we look around, and there's this body of Sonia just
yeah, just face down into
Floating.
floating. Yeah.
I guess it wasn't the kiddie pool.
Yeah.
No, Ruben, you definitely didn't say you got out. You're drowning by now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Sonia forgot that she can't swim.
No, she forgot to swim mid-swim.
Forgot to breathe underwater, started breathing underwater, died. Anyway, so what would you like to do now?
Accidentally hit her with my wing.
Look at the guys. I guess we follow to go see what this master is all about. Again, stay close to me. The power of Bahamut will keep your mind clear.
Looking at my fellow compatriots, I ask, can you guys inspect the rocks while we're moving? Because I suspect there's something going on. It's the same.
They're high up. You'd have to climb up. I mean, or guess fly up.
I look over to my carrier pigeon, sorry, Jax, and subtly remind him that it might be useful for him to inspect the stones. Subtly.
Do so.
The dryad stops as he sees you hesitating and says, "Please follow me. The master does not like to wait. Please follow me."
If
And
that
she
was
continues walking.
And if that was the case, why did he obstruct our travels by trying to attack us?
He cleared your path.
So he wasn't responsible for the dryads sending wolves on us.
You had to be tested.
Okay. And Whisper will advance, but will stay within the safety of Scar's protective
Okay.
bubble of personal space.
As you step forward.
Can I still go and check out the stones?
Certainly. Yep. Give me a investigation check.
But I'm a stupid bird. Yeah, it's an 8.
Glowing stones.
Yeah. Can I check that?
Ooh, shiny.
What do you say, Ruben?
I ask for checks. Can I check that stone?
You'd have to climb up. It's about 20 feet high or so. The stones are about like 20
Hey,
feet
can
high.
I just grab her and fly her up to get a look at it?
You're not strong enough to carry a humanoid-sized, especially with you wearing heavy armor. You're not strong enough to carry a humanoid-sized.
Starts taking off clothes.
No, but we have Scar. I look over to Scar and look over to Sonia and go like, "You're strong, right?" And
Yeah.
you could just go, maybe like give her a bump up or something. And you're already like 7 feet tall, so you're almost halfway there.
The master does not like to wait. You do not wish to anger him, do you? Show respect and follow.
Curiosity
we
is
should-
a virtue.
Follow along. Scar's gonna head down the hallway and
Okay, so
follow
you-
the dryad.
You follow the dryad. You can see now the center of the chamber.
Come on, guys.
And there's a lot of statues here, and you can also see all the runes, the roots and vines coming out of the floor and on the ceiling and everything are carved. There's like symbols and different kinds of like artworks everywhere, and they all of a really high quality. And then you can see 2 elves. They are both older elves with long silver hair, a man and a woman, and they're both sitting on the ground, and their arms are like up high, and there is vines wrapped around their arms, holding them in place. And they are surrounded by what looks like about a dozen or so statues in different sizes. Some of them are small, some of them are nearly human-sized. Muted.
What do the different statues do? Like, what are they different? What do they look like? Like, are they all humanoid?
They are humanoid, yes. Some of them, no, actually there's a few animals, but most of them are humanoid.
Okay.
I would motion to the elves tied up and say, why are they here? Why do they need to be restrained in such a way?
They are servants of the master.
Who are they?
You actually recognize them. This is Leith and Jelania, his wife, the 2 elders of Thelvin village.
I will immediately walk up to them without hesitation.
They both seem to be unconscious. Just their heads hanging down, basically, or asleep.
I will softly try and wake them up. If that doesn't work, and I suspect that they might be unconscious.
As you reach out towards them, the dryad says, "The master has not given you permission to touch his servants.
They are my
Please
family.
refrain from doing so."
Scar is gonna look at the dryad and be like, "I don't serve the master. I haven't even met the master."
You have.
He's gonna pull out his knife and he's gonna cut the vines that are holding their hands and pull
They are,
them down.
the vines are very thick. You'd have to use a sword, basically. A knife's
Yeah,
not
like
going
my
to do it.
sword. I'll
Okay.
pull out my sword.
The dryad looks at you and says, "That is not wise. The master will not be pleased. But let me introduce you I am, after all, his herald, and there for these things. You stand in the presence of the Emerald King, Lord of beasts and trees, protector of the Tarysh Woods, the magnificent Worldly before whom the world kneels in awe. And he looks at you expectantly as he says that.
Does it ring any bell?
Nope.
No. Sorry, guys. Don't know who that is.
And I'll
I'm
look
gonna
over
look
to
around.
Scar and see if can you see if you can bring these people back around.
As you talk to each other, you can hear a voice saying, "How quaint to show such worry for the old and frail."
And I would respond and say, how vile to show no disregard for the living.
I had expected something else of your kind, half-blood. And all of a sudden, you can see
Dragon.
one of the vines moving, raising up, and you can see this long emerald green serpentine neck with a head at the end of it, two red eyes staring at you, a mouth opening, a mouth full of teeth, and two wings spreading out behind it. And as the body raises up where it has been hidden amongst the vines that have the exact same color as the scales of this creature, the head going up until it is about double the height of a large creature, like a large man like Scar, looking down on you. And he says, "You stand in my presence. This is my forest, and you do not kneel?"
I kneel only before the platinum dragon.
Sorry. You see Whisper, like thinking back, if there was any recollection or any legends about any creature like this within the Wood Elf lore
This
locally.
is a green dragon. But, I mean, you have heard of these creatures, but you have never dared to think that you would see one before you. They are deadly. They are vile.
Would that be the patron or a logical entity to be the heart of the forest, or is this to me like a total obvious
This is
monstrosity?
probably some creature that has claimed the heart of the forests. And as it puts its neck forward, looks at you and says, "I give you one chance. You seem mighty in your own pitiful way. I am willing to offer you a chance to live. You can all serve me." It lays its hand to the side and says, "Correction. 2 of you can serve me. And the only thing you need to do to earn this honor is slay your companions. What say you, human?" And as it looks at Sonia and says, "What say you, half-blood?" As it looks at Scar. "Swear allegiance. Bend the knee to the Emerald King. Do my bidding, and I will elevate you above the nobles of these lands."
And Scar would grit his teeth and look back at this green dragon and say, I would not bend my knee to Tiamat herself. I will not bend my knee to a charlatan false king.
He looks at Sonya.
Draw his sword.
I just shoot an arrow at him.
Okay. And as you reach out the arrow and put it down to your bow, it goes, well then, tell me one thing. Insects. How do you choose to die? And we are entering initiative as it spreads the wings behind it. And Whisper, you are up first. And Sonya is reaching for its arrow.
How far is it away from me?
About 30 feet.
How tall is it?
Sorry, what was that?
How tall is it?
It is about, its head is in about 12 to 15 feet height.
Excellent. Well, what you see happening is Whisper will invoke some of his physical and mental prowess, and you see him. I will use my key to use the disengage action, so my movement doesn't provoke. And I'll use
there is no one to, like, the Dryad is standing off to the side. You can run up to the dragon without provoking any attacks of opportunity.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna stop when I reach the dragon.
Oh, okay, okay.
What you see happening is you see me almost turning into a spectral thing again, like I'm hard to touch, and you see me just, and I'll try, and because it's so big, I'll just try and walk. I'll try and climb onto the dragon. You see me taking a sprint, leaping off trying and climbing up one end of the vines, and then trying to leap onto its body while holding the sword in two hands.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Ooh, that's really good. Let's say 22.
Yeah, you jump, you twirl around in the air, dodge the dragon's head and its wings, and land on its back. You can feel the heat of its flesh underneath you and the massive scales that cover its body, the green, darkish green scales, as you chop down with your sword.
And when I do so, you hear me say, there is nothing natural about you being here, and I will smite you back to whatever you came from. This heart belongs to the forest and not to something as vile as you.
All right.
Yeah, that's not too great. Oop.
You strike down, but the dragon's scale is way too thick, and it just your blade just ricochets off, basically. You barely keep it in your grip.
When you get advantage on that being on top of it, I think it's advantage.
No, it would not.
Okay.
Is it surprised at least?
No.
It's not surprised
I
by
mean, it's sort of
bravado.
surprised. It's sort of surprised, but it's like you're just a flea climbing on its back. It doesn't really give a shit. And it is its turn now. The dragon just looks over the shoulder to you.
So the 15 to hit missed it.
Yes.
Okay.
So the dragon looks over your shoulder a bit and then turns towards you and says, "So be it." As it spews forth this cloud of poisonous vapor that streaks towards the three of you, hitting the Dryad at the same time, just engulfing you. You can feel your eyes burning and your throat burning as this poisonous vapor just tries to invade your bodies. Give me Constitution saving throws.
We still had the rags on with the water. Does that give any advantage against something like this?
Sorry, what did you say?
We still had the mouth rags on with water.
No, this is way too strong.
Okay.
So you guys do have
Not
an
to
extra
mention-
+3 from being next to me, though.
I would be above them in the air. So would I be still in its range? Or...
It is a 30-foot cone,
Hey, I'm
so
sorry.
yeah, you would probably still be hit.
Okay, I'll make that in a second. I just got a call.
Okay.
You got an 18.
That is a success, Scar.
Hit.
16.
How much did you get, Ruben?
16.
16 with the +3 from Scar?
No, without that.
So 19.
Then it's 19, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So both Scar and Sonia take 20 points of poison damage.
And that's with a successful save.
That is half, yes.
Yeah. It's a dragon.
It is a dragon.
This is
Hello.
gonna be a problem.
I am a dragon. Hello. Yeah, and next up will be Sonia. So you just go ahead. Chex will take his turn afterwards. Oh, actually, roll his save afterwards. Sonia, go ahead.
Go, Ruben.
Attack. I can't do anything else.
Are you shooting your bow at him or doing something melee?
Both.
Are you using your sharpshooter?
Very effective.
You using your sharpshooter or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not the sharpshooter this time.
Okay.
I don't have that much to hit.
Yep.
Don't you guys want to move away from each other a little bit more, so if he breathes again, you don't hit everyone?
Go ahead, Ruben.
Yeah, but
What
if
are
I
you
get too far, I don't get the bonus
Yeah, but just walk around him.
from...
Anyway, you can't communicate right now. This is combat, so
No, but this is all happening telepathically, because we're that into each other.
right. Ruben, what do you do? Quick. You don't have much time to think.
I'll move a little bit to the side, and
Yep.
I'll shoot him without using sharpshooter.
Okay.
8 plus 12, 20.
That is a hit. Your arrow streaks through the air, pierces its thick hide, and you can do sneak attack because you have an ally that is standing on top of it.
Okay. Uh, 19 damage.
Okay, the dragon does not seem impressed at all.
Mm.
So Travis, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, that's a 22 for my saving throw.
That is 20 points of poison damage for you.
Ooh, crap.
And it is now the dragon's turn again. As
Did I get a turn, or...
nope. The dragon just, its eyes flare up, and out of the ground, roots and vines erupt, grasping onto Scar, just grabbing him and trying to engulf him, basically. Give me a strength saving throw.
And Scar. Okay.
Yep.
Is he muttering any words, or does it seem
Nope.
like a spell, or is this
An
just...
11.
Scar, you are held in place as you are restrained by the vines and roots that grab onto you. Jax, now it's your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and fly right up in its face and cast and just basically punch it in the face and cast Inflict Wounds as a third
Alright.
level.
Okay, that is a melee spell attack.
Yes, it is.
Give me the attack.
Alright. That is a 23 for attack.
That is a hit. You reach out, slap into the face.
Alright, I don't know how much damage that does as third level. I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay, I think that would be 4d10 or something like that. Let me see.
Sounds
it
right.
is 3d10. Actually, 5d10.
5d10, cool.
Yep.
In that case, he is taking 9, okay, 16, 21, ooh, 30, one more, 44 damage, 44 necrotic.
44? Wow, okay.
I rolled really well.
So the dragon is like, "Ah!" As part of its face starts to rot and melt. Some of the scales basically crumbling and falling off.
And as my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and cast spiritual weapon, and a mace will appear on the other side of its face and just hit it. That is also a spell attack.
You
That is
can't
bonus
cast
action, right?
you can't cast 2 spells in the same turn. Only if one of the spells is a cantrip. You can only cast 1 spell per turn, unless, as I said, one of the spells is a cantrip, and spiritual weapon is not a cantrip.
Okay. Okay, sure. Never mind then.
Yep. Scar, it is your turn. You are restrained.
Okay. So like the vines have grown up around my legs and stuff.
Yeah, holding you in place.
Okay. I am going to use my action to cast Bless.
Okay.
I'm gonna bless. I think it's 3 people, so I'm gonna bless. Whisper, Sonya, and myself.
All right.
What does it give us?
1d4.
2 attacks and saving throws.
Yep.
So make it easier to hit the dragon and easier to resist whatever he throws at us.
Sorry, did you say Whisper, Sonya, and you?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And now it is Whisper's turn up again, as Scar is still restrained, can't move at all.
As a bonus action, I will put Hunter's Mark on him.
All right.
And then I'll attack it with my sword first.
Okay.
Wow. So 17 plus a d4.
Not 7. Oh yeah, 17. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
Ah, it's only 18, so that probably isn't enough.
That is a miss. Yes.
Jeez. But because I'm a monk and I'm hitting it, I will just pummel it with some fists as well.
All right.
So that is 1 extra attack. Just ignore the damage roll. I'll just.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'll just. Yeah. I'll.
Yeah, sure.
So 23. So that would hit.
Yeah, definitely. You just punch it in the side of its neck, sort of.
1d4. For 7 pummeling damage to the back of the head.
All right. Dragon now. And he will grab all 3 of its attacks, bite attack, and both claws will go against Chax, who's floating like right in front of his face, basically. It just rears up on its hind legs, goes down on you.
Uh-oh.
Trying to just rip you to shreds, basically.
Bye, Chax.
Okay, the first claw attack. Yeah, you try to dodge it out of the way, but the first claw attack hits you in the side. The second claw attack, you manage to block the second claw attack with your shield, and then the bite attack comes in, and that is a 24-5 or something like that. So that hits as well. So the first claw attack is 8 points of slashing. 12 points of slashing damage. And the bite attack is 12 points of piercing damage plus 7 points of poison damage. As it just rips into your side and just rips out a chunk of your flesh.
I'm at 0.
You drop to it just grabs you in its mouth, shakes you around, and throws you against the wall. You just and slide down. Ah, chicken. Sonya.
Come on, Ruben. We need your help, man.
I'm going new for where Chax is, and I'm going to use Cure Wounds on him.
All right, so you run up, you touch the broken, bloody body of Chax, and what level are you casting it? You only have level 1, right?
Level.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's 7 points.
Okay, so Chax, you black out for a second, but then you get up again, or like you open your eyes anyway, and you can feel that dragon's poison. Oh yeah, 5 point more damage. All right.
Oh, it's actually 6. Also the colossal damage thing, because he
Okay.
was wounded. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a colossus, so yeah, that definitely counts. Okay, that was Warlinaf's turn. Now Sonya's turn. Now Warlinaf's turn again as he uses his lair action, and let me see what he does. He turns his head and he will blow he will blow through his nostrils and just like, and there's a cloud of purplish energy that comes out of his nostrils, engulfing Whisper. Give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage because you're an elf.
It's okay.
It's a charm effect.
So the second one is a 16.
All right, that is a success, just barely, but still, you shake off. You can feel the dragon's presence entering your mind, trying to dominate you. But with the picture of the dead, torn apart elves in front of your inner eye, you shake it off.
Not this day, you foul worm.
And Chax, you are, well, still amongst the living, lying on the ground. What do you do?
Barely amongst the living. Okay, my bonus action cannot do 2 spells in one turn.
Unless one of those spells is a cantrip, no.
Shit. Okay, in that case, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna fly at him again, and
Okay.
go ahead and give him a good uppercut of inflict wounds.
All right, again, nice.
Leroy!
If he kicks you down again, I'll heal
That's
you.
a nat 20.
You kick him.
You gotta be kidding me. Seriously, a nat 20.
No, dude. I gotta freaking.
I
Do you
can't
want me to
hear.
re-roll it on the thing?
No, no,
yeah,
it's all right.
it's a nat
I
20.
believe you. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. No, I believe you. Okay, roll damage. What level?
All right.
What level are you casting it at?
That was 3rd level. Yeah, that was 3rd level.
Okay. How many?
I'm gonna have to roll 10. I have 3 all in all, and I just used 2 of them.
Excellent.
So you want? Could I just like roll the first 5 and then just double it? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
You
If
can
you want
just
to,
use
yeah.
roll 20.
Yeah, or
Okay,
you can just put in roll 20. You can just do like /R 10.
I can.
So that's much easier than rolling the like 50 dice.
Okay. Yes. 10d10. How do I do that? Is it just slash or so they
Slash
did it-
R.
did it for me.
/R 10d10.
And
With a space in between.
Yeah, with a space in between the R and the 10d10.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice.
Still pretty good.
You
Not as good as the last one.
you pull your talons into the dragon's neck, and part of its neck dissolves as it starts thrashing around. And of course, I crash.
And we lost our GM.
Well, as we all know, that attack definitely killed it. The battle is over, and he just happened to have a huge sack of treasure behind him.
Yeah.
Like
Full of
all
magic
dragons do,
items.
right?
Yeah, it just full of legendary items of our choosing. There was a
Yeah,
portal to
exactly.
a different room full of weapons.
That was just too much damage for my internet. It
Yeah.
just crashed.
Yeah.
Its
couldn't handle
computer
So
cannot
much damage,
withstand
I killed
damage of that magnitude.
I killed the DM.
Yeah, you can't. I just can't handle it. Okay, that was Chax's turn. We are down to Scar. Now, the roots holding you in place crumble. And
Okay.
you can just rip yourself away from them.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go and charge at the dragon,
All right.
and I'm gonna swing my sword at him. I don't think I can shove him, can I?
Nope.
No. Might not work out that well.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just attack him.
All right, so you drawn in, swing twice with your longsword.
Yeah, so we get a 27 total.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That it just barely hits.
Just barely hits. Okay, and I'm gonna do a second level smite on this guy.
All right.
He needs it. So we're gonna roll 4d8 plus 4 for 27 damage.
Wow. Okay. You smash into the dragon. You pierce its hide in the chest. You rip open a large wound. The dragon stumbles. Just barely pushes itself back up.
Okay, and then I'm gonna attack again for a 22.
That is also a hit.
Okay, and I'm gonna do another smite attack because I don't know how long I'm gonna last when he did like a third of my health with that breath attack. So these are both my second level slots for 21 more damage.
Okay. Whew. All right. Yeah, the dragon slumps to one side. Two of his legs just give away under him. He's lying there half prone. And you can see fear in his eyes now.
Okay.
Whisper, your turn.
Payback, motherfucker! Whisper
Kick his
will
ass.
first take a blow with his mighty sword, and putting into it all his righteous vengeance. You will never taint my homeland again! Come on.
What?
Plus the 1d, so 18
D4.
plus...
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you're writing out your macro, you can literally just do.
That's alright. So he has an AC of 19, so you hit him no matter what you roll.
Okay, excellent. So that is a total of 17 damage.
Okay, how do you want to finish this beast?
You see me, basically I was on its back, and what happens, you see my companions looking quite dire as we took quite a beating, but then you see Whisper Leafwalker turn into Whisper Dragonwalker, and you just see me run up the neck of the dragon, and once I reach its head, you see this sword just strike out into one eye, out of the other one, and it just crashes into the floor, crushing all beneath it.
And it looks up to you with one eye that's heavily damaged, like leaking out, and it looks to Whisper, and it says, "You fool, darkness is coming, and it will devour these lands." And then its eyes break, and it falls. It hits the ground with its face, and everything is silent.
Oh, before that happens, I will Legolas off the dragon's head when it crashes to the earth. Just
All right.
stuck the landing. And I look around at my battered compatriots, and I will walk over to our owl buddy, and he's looking quite battered, and you just see me like pulling 2 hand grenade flasks out of my backpack and going like, "Here, you need this," and I'll just pour 2 healing potions into him.
All right. And yeah, you can obviously release Jelania and Leith, who had been held prisoner for the Dragon Force, to basically create carvings to glorify his rule over this forest. Yeah, that is the end of the adventure. You have slain the beast, and you have brought peace back to the forest, and all the effects of the dragon's presence will disappear over the next couple of days, and you will be able to return back.
Gloriously.
Indeed, with the head, the large head of a dragon.
Yeah.
And Whisper.
Definitely cutting that dragon's head right off.
And you can now call yourselves Dragon Slayers. All right. Well, that's
Dude, like
that's
my wing had to get torn off during that.
that's it for tonight for all the YouTube watchers. I hope you had fun. And
That was epic.
see you another
That was
day.
amazing.
So we are
Yeah.
going offline, and write
Yeah.
to me in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like. Always eager to hear some feedback. Bye bye.
Bye.